sink down and emotions feel like I never did before. Live shows and unspoken reels of the movie I ignored. Blue skies on a broken sea and I'm stuck up on the shore. I never thought you could see me, but you did. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're calling, falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind, yeah. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're calling, falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're calling, falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind, yeah. So I see. We could be the enemy and show them how it's done. Yeah, we could brand a new identity to tear apart the songs, making grayscale with a black and white scale, singing saints that the sinners believe and burn all the sin. We'll take them out. We'll make them up for it and shout. Keep out the guns, I'll take the wheel. How we feel, we will make it this. Keep your mountains still and make it real, make it dangerous. Been colorblind for all my life, and they kept painting rainbows. I'm colorblind, it's black and white. It seems it will remain. And you've been colorblind for all your life, too scared to even say so. We're colorblind, it's black and white. It seems it will remain so. So what they say we're calling, falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind, yeah. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're calling, falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're calling, falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind, yeah.
Excellent.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
All right.
Ooh.
How are you?
hello.
Hey, Zeph. Hey, Walt. I hope you're both doing well today.
Oh, it's so nice looking.
Okay, I
It
was,
really
like,
does
I was
look
like, I don't know
really
who
nice,
followed,
yeah.
but it was Ghostface. Thank you, Ghostface.
Hi, Corrupt.
The yeah,
everyone.
Corrupt, we have been playing a lot of Overwatch lately for sure. Hey, Walt. Other Walt.
Walt.
The,
Both Walts are
Other
here.
Walt.
Both Walts are
Heck
here.
yeah.
Zippy, Das Pinhead.
Although he's not an actual
Cool
Walt,
guy.
but you know.
The true, but he was the first one I met actually. So they're both Walt in my heart.
Cool Walt. Awesome Walt.
Corrupt, you're addicted to Borderlands. It's, you know, as far as addiction goes, that's one of the better ones.
What a
in my
terrible
opinion.
addiction.
I now own Borderlands on PC and PS4, and I have only played about 30 minutes of it. So
Play with us.
Yeah, really. Come on.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. Give me an excuse to make another Borderlands character.
It's the kind
Hell
of game you don't want to solo, right? You have to play it with people, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
You
absolutely.
could
Well,
solo him, but it's not recommended.
I think I did when I first played it, but now that I've played it with other people, I can't go back. Like some games, like they spoil you by like showing you how awesome co-op is, and then it's like you can't ever. Try
I think that's
again.
what I did. I think I just played it by myself for about 30 minutes, and I was like, this is okay, but I can see why it would be a lot more fun with
But I mean, just throwing this on here, I played with the group and I hated every minute of it.
Wow.
Oh.
But it's well, hold on. He didn't hate every minute of the group as a member
No,
of that
yeah,
group.
no,
Like,
I
he
didn't hate
enjoyed
the
the
group.
process. He
I
just
hated
hated
the
the
game.
game, right?
Oh,
The real
okay.
Borderlands is the friends you make along the way.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So for everyone who's here, welcome. It's great to see you again. And we got a bit of an earlier episode today. Our special guest today is a wonderful variety streamer and a teammate of ours, a terrific talent, Fairhurst, who some of you will surely be aware of.
And if you
Oh.
don't, that's a huge mistake, and you should.
Yeah, you should go check him out right now. In fact, I forgot to. Okay, corrupt. Okay, corrupt. Alright, the
We
bet
have
is
a
made,
channel
okay? The bet is made.
I got a question. Do you now feel pressure to make your bed now that this is a channel point reward? Do you ever
Yes.
think, does it
Now
motivate
that
you?
people can check you
Yeah,
for it.
at the age of 27, apparently it's channel points that are bringing me into adulthood. Reluctantly, but nonetheless. So,
I'm not gonna attempt
Hold
to
on.
pronounce that name, but Shifu, thank you for being here, and I assume you're one of.
that's one of your
Yes.
community members, I'm assuming, based on the emotes there.
Yeah, that's my big dumb face.
If only you could have a voice
And-
as an emo, like if they could do sound.
Yeah.
You'd be the Admiral Baru of emos.
The Scottish Admiral Baru
Yeah.
that just swears all the time.
Um,
Oh yeah, can I swear?
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
It's,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
rated
Okay, right.
18 plus, so you're fine.
yeah, the like, this chat has like probably the same rules that your chat has. To be honest, like.
Okay, cool.
True Variety, actually, I find as a team generally like is pretty unified rules. There's very few things that will fly in one place and not fly in another. Considering that Trev mods for
For like half.
fucking
of them.
3/4 of the channels.
Rafiki!
Hey
Hello.
Rafiki, how are you, my friend? I hope you'll get Outer Worlds during the Steam Summer Sale. Me and Rafiki were talking about that last night.
Oh yeah, Steam Summer
Okay.
Sale ought to be happening in a few weeks.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
it
yeah,
is,
mid-June,
what's it
based on
called?
like past
Exciting.
years.
I
I
should probably
think.
switch this calendar so it doesn't say May.
And the
anymore.
GOG Summer Sale is happening
So,
right now
don't
for
look like
everybody
I'm a
out there
clown.
who's looking for DRM free.
I might have to pick up Outer
Ooh.
Worlds. How do we know how? Do we know how much?
It's a
in
newer game. So I don't think it's a new-
Outer Worlds? Well, Outer Worlds. Oh, right, Outer Worlds isn't on Steam yet. I forgot.
Well, and
Oh.
it's a newer game.
Oh,
I
'cause
know
Epic.
newer games
It's
won't,
it's Epic, but it's also on Xbox Game Pass for PC, Melly, which you can
I-
register
that
for
was the
very
new
cheaply.
alert
That's
if
how
you
I
guys-
got it,
if you guys
personally.
missed that.
Yeah, that's how I got it as well.
Oh, okay. You've played it as well. So usually it's not my first question, but we're gonna get back to that later because I am curious to get your take on it. I'm only about 8 hours in or so, maybe less. But
Cool.
have you finished it? Have you like played it through?
No, one of the one of these things that's going to come out about me really quickly is that I'm really, really bad for finishing games. Like I am.
Same.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you'll feel right at home with all of
Yeah,
it.
you're
Yeah,
in good
Rory
place,
didn't
you're
finish
comfortable.
Prey or Spider-Man or Fallen Order or any other game he touched.
Sweet, same. I didn't finish Spider-Man either, even though I loved it. I'm like, this game's amazing. I've still not finished it yet.
I need to
Alright.
like go back. I've only played like the beginning of it, and I was like, "This is great," and then I got
That's
really
deeply
busy with
upsetting.
work.
I'm gonna need you both to change that like immediately.
Mm.
In fact,
Spider-Man.
actually, you know what? Come back after you finish Spider-Man so we can talk. All right, guys.
All right,
it's
cool.
over.
I'll
No,
be
I'm
back.
just kidding.
I'll be-
This is why we play multiplayer, so we don't have to feel bad about not finishing games.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
True story. So Fairhurst, at points I would like to delve into your history as a gamer, but I'd like to start, if we could, with your history as a Twitch streamer and how you like found out about Twitch, the platform. We've had some people who started out directly streaming, but some people who watched other streamers. Were you a fan of Twitch before you started streaming?
Yeah. I'm actually I'm a dinosaur that get kicked over here from the Justin TV days.
Oh, you were here on
Um,
TV.
you're one of-
Damn.
Yeah.
You're an OG.
Yeah. In fact, I even remember trying to open up the Justin TV app on my phone one day, and they're like, "We don't do this anymore. You should download Twitch." And I'm like, "What the hell is Twitch?" Download no new app. And then, yeah, here we are. Yeah, basically, I started off watching Justin TV, and then moved over to Twitch. But honestly, I was on Twitch for about 2 years before I even said a word in anyone's chat. I would just like hang out and not say anything. I think I was maybe on it like a year before I even had an account or something. I don't know.
Oh, you didn't even have an account
Probably.
the first year?
So you just sit and watch
I
people?
don't think so. Yeah, I just hang out.
You were the master lurker. You were just like,
Yes.
Oh, absolutely,
the
yeah.
lurkers.
can't
Was
talk
it in
if I'm
certain-
not in here.
Was it in certain people's chats, or did you get on for like events like E3 or anything like that?
No, actually, when I moved over to Twitch, I was like, right, who do I remember from Justin TV? And it was like Man vs. Game, because I was trying to play through Demon Souls at the time, and then I saw that he was playing it, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to see how this guy does it, see what I'm doing wrong, and I'm like, oh right, okay, I just suck, nailed it.
Like, oh, he's not getting hit. And I was like, and I am.
Yeah.
I was like, I see the problem.
And then as time went on, rather than like going to YouTube to see if a game's like any good or worth picking up, I'd just go to Twitch instead. And then it just kind of evolved from there. And then eventually, I think this was like 2011, or I think I tried streaming once and my internet couldn't handle it, and I was like, well, that's that out the window.
You're like, well,
Never gonna
I tried.
happen. Yep, gave it the good old picked up a Blue Yeti in like an Amazon sale at like Christmas, and then it gathered dust for about 3 or 4 years. I think I tried again in like 2014. I streamed Fable. I think I got one
Nice.
viewer who immediately left as soon as I was like, oh, one person's watching. Hey, dude, and then they left, and I'm like, all right. Okay. So
They got
From-
really uncomfortable.
from the get-go.
They
Oh.
wanted to just lurk. They just wanted to lurk. and
exactly,
then
like
got called out
breaking
alert.
the cardinal rule from day one, calling out a lurker immediately. I'm like, oh, someone's here. Yes. Then it turned out my internet still couldn't handle it that well, so binned it again. And then 2017, I finally get decent internet, and then gave it a go, and I've been at it ever since.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
So
The
in 2017, what games did you kind of start off? When you really started to kind of get consistent with it, what games were you playing back then?
Overwatch.
Ah,
Oh,
Mainly
okay.
played Overwatch, and I think most of my first streams I was basically switching between Overwatch and Siege.
I forget Siege
so-
is like really old. Because didn't Siege and Overwatch
Yeah.
come out almost the same time?
I think so, yeah. Same year at least.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah. And wasn't really good at either of them, but I was like, hey, you know what? I have fun and people are hanging out, so might as well keep this going.
I was just gonna say, as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters.
Well,
in terms of picking your games and stuff like that, like starting out with like Overwatch and Siege, like now you stream like a variety, you know, and stuff like that. Like you've streamed fighting games, you've streamed looter shooters and stuff. Like what was there anything that, like, were you always intending to be a variety streamer, or did you really just intend to be an Overwatch Siege streamer and something made you want to make that switch?
no, I think I always wanted to do variety. A lot of the streamers that whose communities that I actively like hung out in and chatted in were mostly variety.
Mhm.
That's basically how I met everyone on Twitch. It was just like hanging out in other people's chats and going to TwitchCon.
Which ones have you been to?
From 2016 onwards.
Oh, you've been to every single one?
I didn't go to the 2015 one, which was in San Francisco. But yeah, I've been to everyone since then.
Did we meet?
So you
Yes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, because you were hanging
Yeah.
out with you knew Chaotic Ashley and like Lemons and all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And Hooch and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, we went and get food, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we all ate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So you started going to TwitchCons pretty early, actually, in terms of relative to when you started streaming and stuff like that, and like really getting active in chats and stuff like that.
Yeah, I ended up being like super active super early, and I knew people who were streamers who were going, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go to this thing. You should come as well." And I did, and it ended up and round about that time, I kind of knew I wanted to try streaming again anyway. So I was like, "Well, I might as well go and like meet people first."
Sure, yeah, that makes
Hang
sense.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that help you? Like when I started streaming, and I think it's definitely, I know it's at least the same for Morgan. By the time we started streaming, a bunch of people on Twitch already knew us, so it was like we never had that sense of streaming to nobody. Like there was someone always there. Did you find now coming back to it after knowing people that your chat was like a lot more active from the get-go?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I felt really lucky for that. Like super lucky. I was like, man. Thank you everyone for hanging out.
Yeah, I
like,
agree.
for
It was
real,
pretty,
thank
thank you.
you.
I really appreciate it.
With Morgan and Rory, they hadn't kind of like established, and I guess Melissa as well. They kind of like established themselves in the community, and then like people were like, "Oh hey, like they're streaming now," and I'm like, "Oh cool, I know them from this and this and this," and then they never had to deal with
Yeah,
the whole,
I mean,
like,
that's exactly where, like, how I gotten to know Melly a little bit more, because we had played a few games together, and then we were friends on Twitch, and I just saw that she was streaming. I was like, "Oh, Melly's really cool. I'm gonna hang out in her stream." I didn't know that she streamed, and it was like your first one, wasn't it, Mel? Like, I think almost.
Yeah, I mean, I had done like a
Second,
couple
if you
too.
count the accidental stream, I think, right?
That was the first stream I told anybody about. Let's put it that way.
But yeah, because like, I
Accidental
mean,
stream.
because I think that kind of did help us,
Yeah.
because and it was unintentional, because we had just been on Twitch for a while before that, and I think both of us at one point were just like, I kind of want to try streaming and see if we can do it. And we both did it from our PlayStation 4s, and by then I already had like 25, at least for me I had 25 followers, I think, because I had been modding in other people's channels already, and I was good friends with Mal, and so a bunch of people would just come over and be like, "Oh my god, you're Morgan streaming, how cool."
Yeah.
So that was always kind of nice, at least having like most of the time it was at least 2 people when I first started were there.
Trev had been modding for me since before I started streaming, so it was really funny because when people started coming along, like people who already knew me from Twitch, they came in and Trev would say something. They'd be like, "You're gonna be fucking kidding me! He's a mod in here already! God damn it!"
his first stream, they're like, "What the fuck?"
He moves quickly.
It's free real
Oh,
estate.
we have-
I gotta capitalize.
we have
on
a-
it.
Oh wait.
We got a question.
for our guest.
Yes.
From Purdy.
Yep. Oh,
Do you like? How do you pronounce that? Ooh.
Iron Brew?
Oh.
Yes, I love
a
Iron
Scottish-
Brew. Yeah,
that a
it's like
Scottish thing?
yeah, it's
Okay, so
It's
Rafiki
like,
came at
soda.
him hard because he said if he doesn't like it, he's fake.
yeah, it's like. Now I've heard this fact. I'm not sure if it's true, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was. That like Coca-Cola is the top selling drink in every country except Scotland,
No.
which is this drink called Iron Brew. Which, if you Google it, it looks
look it up.
it looks like radioactive. It's like bright neon orange.
I gotta look
and
at
it-
this.
It's like
and
they
you-
shouldn't. They should have named it Neon Agent Orange, kind of.
That sounds
Yeah, well,
like
basically-
Mountain Dew and Sunkist.
Oh my god, yeah, look at this. Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically what everyone here drinks more than water. And yeah, I do. I love it.
What does it taste like? What is it? What's the flavor?
Is it like an orange drink or?
No, this is really awkward. There's no way there's nothing else that tastes like it. I've heard people describe it as like a weird kind of spicy cream soda.
A spicy cream soda?
Yeah. Or like a tangy cream soda. I don't know. All I know is like when you taste it, you're like, oh, right, okay, that's Iron Brew.
Well, now I know what I'm gonna do when I eventually get to Scotland. Is I gotta try this drink.
Absolutely.
I've never
first
had the
line
opportunity to.
On the site says it's Scottish's other national drink after whiskey. So that's saying something.
Well, that's the I think that's probably the like the official on the books national drink.
Oh my gosh.
I've never had the opportunity to try it, but I grew up when I was growing up. I had some Scottish friends, and they taught me how to make tablet, and that's when I learned that Scotland has probably the best dessert food that exists in tablet. It's like excellent. Like you can tell that it's killing you when you're eating it. Because,
Oh, absolutely.
you know, it's not got a lot of like sort of nutrient value.
Oh,
But
I think I've had this
Absolutely.
before. I think
Yeah,
I
it's
have
like-
never.
it's
Okay,
just like a
I
big
don't know.
blob.
I feel like
even
I'm
know
learning
this
all
is-
kinds
Oh,
of things.
I know what
is
this is.
tablet? What is tablet?
yeah,
This
okay,
is
so
like
it's like
caramel,
it's like
isn't it, or something.
it's
It's like
not
a big
no,
slab of sugar that you can.
it's sugar. It's like sugar, and you can make it with like you can use like a canned milk, right? And you
Yeah.
like boil, mix, and it's really easy to make. The worst part is cleaning it after, because it's a real nightmare to clean off.
I'd
off
say
a
that
pot, but
the closest thing that it would look like too would almost be like a block of fudge, but it's definitely not
Yeah.
fudge. Like it's definitely not
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm positive I've
I've
had
definitely
this
seen
before.
it, but I don't think I've ever
yeah,
had it.
I can make it for you again when we see each other again. By the way, the
Freeze dried ice cream. That's a good point.
Okay.
Yeah, that does.
do that
um,
because also when it's being made, whatever room it's being made in smells amazing.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. No, it's so good. Yeah.
When you eat
So I
it,
guess
though,
that,
you can feel it melt in your teeth in real time. Though it is like just pure sugar.
yeah, no, it's actually like, yeah, I brought it to like a party once, and everybody went mad because and no one had it before, right? Like, because like I said, I got to have it quite young because I went to like kind of an international school, so I had like a lot of,
Yeah.
in particular, I had a concentration of classmates from Aberdeen, and like they showed me how to make it, and then like everyone else who I showed it to, like here in North America, like loves it. They go mad, right?
Yep. A
So
couple of
this
times
is-
when I've actually been to the States, they're like, "Can you bring Iron Brew and tablet?" And I'm like, "I'll do my best, but you know, I can only bring
This
so
is
much."
tablet and a cup of tea is what tea, Rafiki, would you select actually in that particular scenario? I'm curious.
The Iron Brew tea, obviously.
Iron brew tea.
I don't think I've ever tried it hot. That might be an experience. It does go really well with
Earl
vodka.
Grey.
Nor did I enter. Wait, so you just asked me why corrupt? Why? Okay, what? Okay, I need help from my co-host here. What?
Okay.
What part of what I said needs a why?
I'm
Is it maybe
something
why
about the
is
tablet.
he the most handsome person in the world? And I'm just gonna say that can't be explained. So next question.
You're sweet. The
I will second that motion. That can't be explained.
Oh my!
the no, it's
Wait,
not
wait.
direct.
Some people. Wait, do people drink Iron Brew hot? I'm sorry. I'm just reading.
Whoa, wait
No.
a minute. Okay.
No, I don't think it's ever. I don't think it's ever
Oh,
been
okay.
tried.
Oh man.
You should
Watch
be the first
people
to
now
try.
try
Judge
it.
it while
What?
very drunk.
Watch somebody in this chat now be like, well, you know what? I am gonna try that.
Fairhurst.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll
I didn't
Brilliant
even know
Pan
what
content
Iron Brew
sugar.
was.
idea. Brilliant content
kidding me.
idea. Be the first person
I
to
didn't.
drink
I
it
don't
hot.
Oh,
know.
that's good.
I didn't even know what it was till 2 minutes ago. I'm just asking questions.
I'm curious, Fairhurst. Actually, the
Frickin'
some
birdie.
I know a bit about your history as a gamer because you were actually hanging out in my chat one day and we got to talking a little bit, and I know you
Yeah.
you started. I'm not sure how consistently you've played fighting games, but I know for sure you played your first one quite early. I seem to remember you mentioning Tekken 3 on the PS1, and I know you've been streaming Mortal Kombat. What can you talk to me a bit about your history with fighting games and like further like how you feel about streaming them, which can be a pretty daunting task?
Yeah. Well, the Tekken 3 was actually the game that came with my original PlayStation. I actually I think I got the PlayStation quite late on, so it was around about the time Tekken 3 came out. But I
Sure,
was really,
yeah.
really big into Street Fighter 2 before that. On that, I play fighting games super, super casually. And I can see Shifu's message in the chat. Yes, Fairhurst, how skilled are you at fighting games? He's saying that because earlier tonight I streamed Mortal Kombat 11, and went online and went
Destroyed.
0-8. Just got absolutely annihilated.
That happened to Rory in Street Fighter the other day. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Or not Street Fighter, Soul Calibur.
It was
I was-
Trev on the other side of it. Trev's just being a shithead. Ignore him.
Ah,
I just like to say,
see.
let's see Trev try to act that way playing Tekken against Rory.
It'd be the other way around. It'd be 0-10.
I'd watch it, but yeah, I was like, I basically finished the story mode and was like, right, I messed around in practice for a while, and then I was like, shall I go online? And I went online, and I knew what was coming. I knew I was going to get destroyed, and I came up against a guy who was literally called the Stomper, and he beat me 8 times in a row.
God.
And then I'm like, well, that was good, but
You're like, "All right,
no, I really
I'm
enjoyed
gonna
fight.
stick to the story mode on this one."
Yeah, basically, well, I'm like, I'm gonna go into practice mode. I'm gonna have a Rocky montage, and then I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna add that guy, and then I'm probably gonna go 0-8 against him again. But at least I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For the
I kind of want to get more into them, but currently I play them mostly casually with friends. I went pretty hard on like Mortal Kombat 9, but just like I said, playing with friends. I didn't play online all that often.
So after Tekken 3, were you mostly like Mortal Kombat and like NRS games, or did you ever like play more in the like the Tekken style fighting games?
Did I? I played a little bit of Dead or Alive, and it kind of wasn't for me.
Yeah, I feel that.
the 6 seasons pass wasn't for you.
No, I looked at it and I was like, you know what? I think I can do without. I think the next fighting game that I super loved, like properly fell in love with, was, I'd have to say, Street Fighter 4.
It's a great choice. That's a great choice.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't even planning on buying it, and then it was like one of those display cabinets at like a game shop where you could just walk up and play it. And then I like bought it that day. I was like, all right, okay, I'm walking out the shop with this.
Yeah.
And yeah, fantastic game.
Um.
And obviously, like I'd go into like arcades whenever I saw one and get absolutely dominated by whoever else was playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 at the time. But,
I can't play that game. That's one fighting game I just don't properly understand. Like,
yeah, I really want to be good at it, but you know that way, like I enjoy playing this, but I know I'll never be good at it.
Yeah.
I'll just go in there and I'll have fun while I lose teeth.
fighting games have a lot of legacy skill at this point too. Like especially I find in Tekken's my main one, and it's like the the legacy skill you're competing against is really high. I think it was really brave of you to stream, by the way, because like I've streamed Tekken a couple times online, like in ranked, and I was really nervous beforehand because you never know like what kind of like. Because like the fighting game people, they come out of the woodwork sometimes, like people who are really hardcore about it, and like you're not doing the optimal combos,
Like,
and like they
you
start
didn't
getting
create an backdash from that one frame you had, and like you're trash. It's like what? Whoa,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's either that or somebody messaging him after the
after
match
they
and
lose, and they're just like
saying
"You're
something
fucking trash."
really bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
no.
getting like I get messages with, like slurs in them and stuff like that after
Oh, no.
I win sometimes, and it's like, ugh, like why bother, man? Like I like what you did because you mentioned like you mentioned you lost a bunch of the same guy, but you obviously kept rematching. Like you clearly want to play, like even if you're losing, you want to play, and I think that's a good attitude to have.
Yeah, I was determined. I was like, even if I get a fluke win against this guy, we keep going until I fluke it. I'm not going to beat him on skill, but maybe he'll drop his controller or something.
Maybe something will happen. His controller will die, and it'll give me a chance.
Fall down, yeah. Something.
Aye. Maybe his internet turns off. Oh, I'll get lucky.
PSN messages I had to block. It gets rough. Yeah, I can imagine. Well, in Steam, the thing is they have to add me to send me a message. So that add me as a
that's
friend.
a whole extra step.
And then
Like-
and then like say some like really offensive garbage, and then just like and then block me or whatever. What?
Oh god,
So
I'm having like
uh,
flashbacks to Xbox voice messages. Ugh.
Oof. Yeah. That,
So Fairhurst, you've been streaming Mortal Kombat 11. Is it the aftermath stuff, or is it just the base game still?
Well, I streamed the base game when it came out. I picked it up on PS4. For Aftermath, I picked up the Steam bundle because it was kind of better value for money, and streaming on the PC version's like easier for me than streaming the PS4 version with a capture card. So I played through the story mode again on PC and then moved straight on to Aftermath.
Have you beaten Aftermath?
Yeah, I beat it tonight.
Oh, nice.
It was. Have you played it? Have you beat it?
No, I heard it was really good though.
Yeah, it was really good. Like it does that NRS thing where, like, when you get to like the end of the story, it gives you the choice, like kind of what they did with
Okay.
Injustice 2.
Yeah.
And one of the choices is like really nice, and the other choice is just hilarious, and I loved it. So I was just like, you know what, this was so worth it. Mortal Kombat 11, you've done it again.
So is like you mentioned you wanted to try to get better at fighting games and such sort of stuff. Is that something you want to do like on stream, or would you rather like the training? Is that a journey you're going to be taking with your chat, or is it going to be something like you go off, you train a bunch, and then you come back and you obliterating people?
Undecided. I'd kind of like have that Rockstar fantasy of like, oh, he's disappeared for a week, and then I come in with like a WWE intro with like pyrotechnics and stuff, and just start
Yeah.
Hype
smashing
music,
people.
and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Aye. Just at the end of it, just like rip my shirt off and get right up to the webcam. You're like, you come into my house. But no, I'll probably do the majority of my playing off stream, and then a lot of the time, half of my streams are me playing the game before I go live, and then going, oh, I can't really be arsed changing game. I just turn the stream on. I'm like, hey, I was playing Siege about 10 minutes ago, or I'm mid Valorant game, but hey everyone, let's go.
You started, it's like round 3 of 5. I was like, wait, what?
Aye. It's basically on the last episode of Fairhurst forgot what time it was. he's getting dominated in Valorant. Enjoy, everyone.
So, since you've played in quite a few different fighting games, I have to ask, which ones are your like preferred style? So we have NRS and like Marvel vs. Capcom, which are 2D side scrollers, and then you have like Soul Calibur, Tekken, Street Fighter that are like 3D, where you can like actually rotate your character the whole.
Street Fighter's 2D.
Oh, Street
Yeah.
Fighter. Oh,
Yeah, Street Fighter's 2D. It's like 3D renderings, but in a 2D environment.
Okay. So out of the two, which one do you prefer?
Probably the 2D. Like I really like Tekken a bunch, but I just really enjoy like Street Fighter or NetherRealm games just so much more.
You probably have a lot in common with Trev then, because Trev also really
I
loves
have
the
found
NRS
my
games.
people. I'm over here.
Yeah.
Although I have downloaded the Dragon Ball Fighters, but I haven't played it yet.
I also
I know-
have it, but haven't played it yet.
I was gonna
and
say, if you want to
you-
play with somebody,
you should hit me up on Discord. Like we like.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
I really enjoy when new people get into fighting games. I wanted to ask you. I do want to circle back around to shooters as things like Valorant and looters after, but I wanted to ask you about your gaming history a little more. You're apparently a big Metal Gear Solid fan.
Yeah.
We're about to
really
become
big
best
Metal Gear
friends.
Hell yes. Yep. The Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation, just like hands down, is my favorite game.
So the original Metal Gear Solid, presumably the PS1 version of it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a solid. So presumably, then actually that sort of answers my next question, which is, what's your favorite of the franchise? And so it's that one. Then one can only assume.
More than likely that one. I find it really hard to like pick a favorite, because like one is just like, I just say one is my favorite game, but like two, 2 was really good. It wasn't what everyone thought it was going to be, but it still ended up being like a masterpiece.
It's really good.
3 is just a masterpiece that just goes without saying, and I think 4 gets a bad rap, but I still love it.
I actually like that's like my unpopular Metal Gear Solid opinions. I think 4 is actually really, really, really good.
Yeah, same. I love it.
Like some of the best level design I've seen, honestly.
I think that's almost exactly how Rory would put it, but in a Scottish accent.
Yeah.
That's about it.
My brother in gaming.
Yeah.
And my big shame is I didn't really enjoy 5. I never finished it. I kind of started it, and the big twist was like ruined in a random Twitch chat, and I was like, oh really?
Was
and
it
then
your chat?
Had
or
what
was it,
I
like,
had.
someone else?
Oh, that's what happened to me.
yeah,
It wasn't
For
Twitch,
5
it
as
was
well?
Reddit, but yeah,
Was it?
Metal Gear Solid 5 was spoiled for me immediately upon release. It came out and immediately on Reddit. Like,
oh no, and all that stuff with Kojima as well, and I'm like, oh, I don't even know if I want to finish this, and I just didn't.
the
And what was I can't even remember the other one they brought out, the Survive.
Oh my
that was
God,
what it was
no, that's
called.
like-
Yeah,
that's like a
I didn't even
sacrilege.
touch that. Yeah,
I
so for those who don't know,
a
you
lot
mentioned
of people hated Survivor from when I
yeah,
remember.
it was kind of gross, to be honest, like in like a business sense. Like so for those, you mentioned the thing about Kojima, so could you explain, like, I don't know how much you followed it, but it's basically Kojima fell out of love with Konami, or well, the other way around, but
yeah, and they had like a really, really, really messy parting. I mean, I think it's kind of common knowledge now that Konami really don't treat their employees very well.
yeah.
And if I remember correctly, they actually tried to remove Kojima's name from Metal Gear Solid 5 as much as they could feasibly get away with.
Yep.
And yeah, like when all that happened, I was just like, because back then I was Kojima #1 fanboy. I was like, how dare they?
Yeah.
How dare they treat my king this way? So yeah, I never finished Metal Gear 5.
No, totally. I can see that, and
Yeah.
they actually did. So it's for those who don't know. I think it's still the only Metal Gear Solid game that doesn't on the cover have a Hideo Kojima game,
Yeah.
like which they all used to have. But I mean, this is a Yahtzee. It pointed out. Do you know the game critic Yahtzee Fairhurst?
Bondo was a fan.
Yeah. 0.
Yeah,
Yep.
he pointed out. Yeah, 0 punctuation, exactly. Yeah, he pointed out. He said, Kojima made up for it by putting his name in the game to an almost psychopathic degree by having it in every credit roll that rolled after every mission.
Yeah.
Like literally, like,
Every
You
new
removed
chapter is just
my
like,
name
hey,
from the
guess
title
what?
screen, but you can't remove it
directed
in
by
game.
Hideo Kojima.
We've talked about spoilers before on our podcast, which because what you said there when you said that that you saw a spoiler for it and you were just like, I don't even know if I want to finish this. Would you say that having something spoiled for you even a little bit can kind of really ruin the experience for you?
100%. Current example, I'm probably not going to pick up The Last of Us 2 because about a week ago, in a completely non-game related website, like in a comment section, it was just like, bang! And you know that way where you start to read it, you don't fully take
And you're
in
like-
what it is, and then
you're
your
like,
brain
oh,
just
no.
goes, and you're like, no king way. Yeah, and I'm just like, oh man, just any hype I had for The Last of Us is just like gone. I probably will play it eventually, but I'm not like as hyped as I was for it.
Yeah, I was
Because
gonna bring
even
that
though-
up. 'Cause I was
That's
actually
so
in your chat
devastating.
after that happened. And like the next time you streamed, I remember you saying that it happened, and I was like, oh god.
Oh yeah, I think that was one of those streams where you're just like in a really terrible mood from the get go because it happened about 10 minutes before I went live, and I was just like, this isn't going to be a good night. And I think I even ended up ending early. I'm like, you know what, guys, just hit the button.
Oh, that can happen too. Like
Yeah. Just I really, really feel for the devs as well for just having to like working on a game for that long and then just have that happen must be the fucking worst.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I can't even imagine. And it's unfortunate too, because then people, like, when a game comes out, you know, it comes out in full. You play it, and there's the music and the story and the gameplay motivation and stuff. And to just have your story come out, it doesn't probably do a justice to how the story actually would have come across. Like, people start critiquing it before the games even come out. And it's like, you know, it's like you don't know how well it would have been paced or how it would have worked in the game, you know, had you not known about it before.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So wait, so you had Metal Gear 5 spoiled, and then now Last of Us 2. Are there any other games that have been spoiled for you that you can think of?
No, I'm trying to think of one, but now all I can think about is that time that someone ruined the Sixth Sense.
Oh god.
Oh no, that's like the worst one.
Yeah,
That movie's all
it was
about like the plot twist, and like someone's like, "Fuck."
yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch the Sixth Sense tonight, and somebody's like, do you know this? And I'm like,
That's the worst thing that I think anybody can do too, because like I hate it when like you're playing a new game and you even put like blind playthrough like on your stream. Sometimes I really do think that some people just don't actually mean it, but there's just a better way that you can word things. Like, you don't come into a stream that says blind playthrough and you go, have you gotten to blank yet? It's like, obviously I haven't. Like, I think it's better if you're just like, hey, what was the last thing you did in this game, you know? I think people absolutely need to be aware, even if you are really excited because this person is maybe playing a game that you really like that not a lot of people stream. You really have to, like, you really got to tread carefully, I feel like you need to figure out like how to say something in the right way without spoiling something, which is really easy usually.
But
Would a Crepe do?
yeah, definitely.
Oh, he hosted, and I didn't want.
Oh, okay. I just saw Crepe. It was just a lone comment by Rafiki. I was like, huh? Yeah.
Hi, Crepe.
Welcome, Crepe. And I agree with what
What's up,
Rafiki
Crepe?
said about me, where I went on Reddit, and that was a rookie mistake going on Reddit when a Metal Gear game had just come out, I think. And,
See, and that's the thing that when it's a game that I've been really looking forward to that's like really story based. I mean, because like even with Animal Crossing, I was like, I don't want to watch a whole lot of stuff right now. But when it comes to story-based games, like when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, I was off of like social media and everything for an entire week, like before the game came out, and then I was off for another week while I played the game because I was that hell-bent on not having any sort of spoiler happen.
it's honestly worth it. Like, if you can do it. Like, well, so for me, I was waiting for a friend of mine was coming back to visit from England, and he was we were going to watch the Conor McGregor Jose Aldo fight, and I was like, I like went radio silent for 2.5 weeks, and then the night before we were going to watch it, I was at a Wendy's, and one of my friends spoiled the fight for me, and I almost called across the table and killed him in that moment. Yeah, like, of all like things, like avoided Facebook, avoided Reddit, avoided
everyone
Twitter.
who could spoil it was your friend who sat.
It was another guy. Yeah, it was another friend of mine who knew that I had been doing this. Like, I had this project to avoid the result of the fight. Oh, I was.
Those are like the worst ones because you know they don't mean it, so you just have like nowhere to send this like distraught despair.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, you didn't mean it. Ah.
Literally, yeah, friendship ended. Yeah, it was bad.
In fact, I just remembered a game that did get spoiled for me. Heavy Rain.
We're just
That's
watching
a bad
something
one
with
to
Heavy
have
Rain.
spoiled.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was one where I was just like, well, fantastic.
Yeah.
That one is like, that's fundamental to enjoying that game in a particular way.
I definitely think like that's kind of one of the worst games, one of the worst kinds of games that can be spoiled. Like any of the kind that are like murder mystery. I mean, even TV shows or movies, like murder mysteries, like whodunit type things. Like you never want those kinds of things to be spoiled, because that's like figuring out like who the perpetrator is, or like having a big twist in the I mean, not just, like I said, not just game, but like show, movie. like that makes it all worthwhile. You know, you get to the end of the whole season, you know, of 24 episodes or something, and then you finally figure it out. Because I've had that happen to me before with TV shows. I'm like, oh, thanks for telling me. I don't feel like watching the rest of this now.
No, that's brutal. Well, especially a Heavy Rain, because I feel like Heavy Rain, like, you sort of like, it's the kind of game that you play, you like reluctantly agree to the game's super whack mechanics just because of the story. It's like, I'm just tolerating the game. It's not like, oh, the gunplay is really great or something. It's like, I'm tolerating this antiquated shit so I can get to the end and find out what happens.
Well, Rory and I were just watching a video about it yesterday. Like, the guy was like, you literally, like, you press a button to put the TV dinner in the microwave, and then you push a button to start the microwave.
And if you don't press it at the right time, you have to give your kid like a cold TV dinner.
Yeah,
that's so depressing.
While you try to talk to him about your problem, you know.
Yeah, that game.
He doesn't have any friends at school. Hey, AJ.
Hi, AJ.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'll be honest. I didn't know AJ was still around. I thought he was just like chilling out, like not doing anything.
How you doing, AJ? But yeah, like those kinds of games, like makes me so sad. You know,
You're amazing, JJ. AJ. I called you JJ.
JJ.
I got a cousin named JJ.
Like when the game like completely relies on its story and like there's very little to the gameplay, it's just the worst. Because like you said, there's no one who's going to be like, oh man, I'm not really into Heavy Rain story, but I just can't wait to come home from work and hold R2 and shake that DualShock. Oh, it's gonna be fucking sweet.
Well, see, and it's the same thing, like, because like I've been so careful about spoilers about like Spider-Man with Rory, because he actually doesn't know anything about the ending, which is awesome considering that the game has been out for almost 2 years. But like without spoiling, like I would have been super upset, you know, playing through that entire really awesome game, because the gameplay was fun and the storyline was really interesting and like everything was so good about it. Like I was making sure not to know anything about that game. Not to mention Melly and I really bonded over that game.
Yeah.
So Fairhurst, I don't know if you know my like philosophy on like spoilers and stuff, but I go out of my way to find everything out about a game beforehand, because then that way, like,
really,
if someone tries spoiling it for me, I'm just like, ha, I did it.
Which that's actually kind of a good thing too, considering that he already does that. So he can, like, if somebody, like one of us is going to be playing a game where like we want to be really careful of spoilers, he already knows, so he can just delete comments right away.
It's an effective mod strategy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like on like a personal level for you, I guess it's like kind of a funny expression of spite, but like for like the rest of us, like, it really helps. Like.
Because at least it was done on my own terms. It's not like someone sitting there like coming in and like, oh, hey, this happens. Like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly. Like I haven't streamed a lot of like really intense narrative games and stuff like that. But like, but when I do, I know Trev will be there to shoot people who throw spoilers out, especially for my chat. I mean, I care about it more for my chat than I do for me, to be honest, because usually I stream like games I've played, you know. But like, you know, I don't want people in the chat having the experience affected.
Actually, I mean, because that's a good point, because I've done that before. When I was playing Persona 5, I had played Persona 5 like three times at that point. I had replayed it for my stream. That was the 4th time, so obviously I know the story of that game. I swear I knew somebody was going to do that too. But like that, I still didn't want people to spoil it, you know, even though like I had played the storyline so many times, like I knew. But I actually had a few of my friends in my chat that were like they were like, after seeing you play this game, I want to play it, and I'm like, they actually bought it and wanted to play it.
That was me.
Rykor and Rory.
Nice.
But like I absolutely think that, because it's not just for you. Like even if like somebody said like, oh, like even if the streamer said, you know, I played this game so many times, I love it, that doesn't you know mean that you have free reign to just go on and on about spoilers. You know, like if the streamer says, hey, listen, just be careful of spoilers, please, not for me but for my chat, like that's definitely something you gotta listen to.
Yeah, I never even thought about it that way.
When I first came to your stream, Fairhurst, it was a melee raid actually, and you were playing. I'm gonna say you were playing the Division 2, and I seem to recall that you really really liked it.
Yeah.
I'm curious, was your history with like looter shooters or maybe looter games in general? Like, did you start out with like Borderlands, like a lot of people I know did, or how did you come about to that?
Yeah. Borderlands 1. Now, this might be this might be quite controversial. I like the Borderlands franchise, but I absolutely despise Borderlands 1. But it's for a really, really weird reason.
Far away, yeah.
A bunch of our friends all got Borderlands 1 and all started the game, and then we'd play like the first 8 hours, and then we'd all move on to something else, and then like 3 weeks down the line they're like, oh, we're going to play Borderlands again, but we're going to start new characters. And then we'd start a new character, then we'd play the first 8 hours, and then something else had come out, and then we're like, oh, right, okay. And then somebody would be like, why don't we play Borderlands? And then someone else would go, yeah, but we should probably start it again, we haven't played it for a while. So this probably happened about 4 or 5 times. So it got to the point where like, we're gonna start a new Borderlands run through. Do you want to play it? And I'm like, no, I hate this game. The first 8 hours of Borderlands is like being at the dentist. To me.
It's bloody
Your
hard.
monthly checkups.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right.
Yeah,
Oh my
usually
God.
The first 8 hours.
Yeah, the first 8 hours I could probably play it blindfolded, but I'd be miserable the entire time. But after that, I love Borderlands 2. I really enjoyed Borderlands 3, and I've yet to play the pre-sequel.
You can not do that if you're.
Is it not good? Is it not good?
Not a fan. Not a fan.
It's real different. It's real different.
Right, okay.
Like it's still like I don't know. On paper, I feel like it would like if I described it to you on paper, I feel like it's the same thing. But then you played it and you'd be like, wait, something's not right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of the franchise as well. I just got Borderlands 3 for PC because it was on Steam. Because I didn't get it when it was on Epic because I personally just like I don't love Epic.
Is the pre-sequel the same as the Talos one? Or
No.
No.
So they use
because that was a Telltale's game is what that actually was. Telltale
Yeah.
Borderlands.
Yeah,
Completely
pre-sequel is like it is like the same style of game, but it's like a slightly different, ever so slightly different developer. And it's an interesting game. I like some people I know they don't hate it, but I also think after playing Borderlands 3, it's honestly kind of sometimes it's hard to go back because that game has so many quality of life improvements. Like stuff is made so much
I really
easier.
enjoyed Borderlands 3. Yeah.
Who are you playing in Borderlands 3? What's your class?
I can't remember her name. The woman with the mech.
Mose.
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 That's what I
Mose, yeah.
play. I love Mose.
Yeah,
she's hilarious.
She's so good. She's so fun. Yeah.
I liked playing Mose mostly because she kind of reminded me of Gage in Borderlands 2, who I played in that, and I love Necromancer.
Gage is terrific. Honestly, one of the most fun classes to play.
Yeah, definitely. I had a lot of fun with Mose.
I haven't played Mose yet. I'm on Amara right now, and the first playthrough was Flak. They were both awesome.
Amara's the Siren.
The new Siren, yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. In fact, I picked up Borderlands on Epic, but I think it was when they had that like sale where it was like, here's a voucher for like $10 off, but if you buy something that's more than $20, you get the $10 voucher back or something like that.
Right, yeah.
Picked up Borderlands 3 and that, and when like everyone went into lockdown for the coronavirus, we all get sent home from where I work. I work in an office, but everyone has the capacity to work from home. So everyone gets sent to work from home, and they were kind of adamant. They're like, right, we know everyone's working from home, but we still want you to use your vacation time because you need to like get away from work. Because if you're doing it from home all the time, you're going to find it really hard to separate. So I took a week off, and me and my friend finished Borderlands 3 up to, I think we made it to, in one run through, we got to like 78% completion, but we did it in 3 sittings.
Jesus.
And
wow.
So we just like started playing it, and then just we're like, oh shit, we've been at this for like 12 hours. We should probably stop. And then that happened like 2 more times. So yeah, big fan of Borderlands 3.
Oh man, that sounds like us when we first started playing Overwatch.
Oh yeah, that was.
I need
we
to
played
take
every night.
a gaming vacation. I need to take a gaming vacation.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
I
so
guess so. Yeah, it's hard now though to take.
I had a friend. I remember I had a friend that when Fallout 4 came out, he took a whole week off of vacation from work, and he told his boss he was going to spend his vacation in post-apocalyptic Boston. And the boss was like, "Okay."
Did he
My
end up?
brother,
It just went right over his head, huh?
my brother did the same thing when Legend of
Yeah.
Zelda: Breath of the Wild came out.
Yep, I did the same thing for Battle for Azeroth, but I didn't say why. But someone in my work knew. They're like, "Are you taking this off for World of Warcraft?" And I'm like, "If you tell anyone about this, please don't tell anyone about this." And they're like, "No, it's cool. My son's doing it as well." And I'm like, "That doesn't make me feel that much better, but okay."
Yeah,
Do you still play Warcraft?
You're sitting there like, how did you know?
I usually find myself like kind of drifting back to it around about the time a new expansion's coming out. So I'm due to start playing it again any day now.
For Shadowlands?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like starting to get
it's
that.
a great
itch.
game.
I remember
honestly.
when Melly, like that time when Melly got like hardcore into it, and she streamed a game while she was in queue for World of Warcraft. Oh my gosh!
That's the dedication that only Warcraft can bring out in people.
I tried to take time off for well, I thought it was something I tried to take time off. I thought a lull in my work would happen when Devil May Cry 5 came out, like the first like 2 days that was out, because I love the series. Trev is a huge fan as well. I assume you are too, Fairhurst.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I was like, okay, this will be perfect, like, because like I'll start on Friday and I'll play it for like 5 days, and that'll be fine. That'll get me through it a couple times probably. And then Friday at the end of my workday, my boss came in and was like, "If you thought you were gonna have a weekend, you were wrong." And he was like, "Here's a whole weekend worth of work." And I was like, "Oh my god!" It's literally like he had never done that to me before, and this is like one time. I was like, "Of course it is." So I ended up playing it like literally 3 weeks later. Thankfully it didn't get spoiled or anything like that. I managed to play it like totally fine.
Thank God.
I can remember that too because Trev the entire time was like, "Rory, just start playing."
I kept asking. This
Devil
was
May
like
Cry.
when we first started talking, and then I was like, "Did you play it?" And he was like, "No,
Yeah.
I'm so worried." I was like, "Damn."
It was like one of the first things we bonded over was that we both liked Devil May Cry, and so we were both like pumped about the 5th one coming out. And what did you? I'm sorry, Fairhurst. I didn't know you liked character action games. Where did you start with like Devil May Cry 1, or how did you get into the series?
Started in the worst possible place. The first Devil May Cry game I properly played was Devil May Cry 2.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say it was like a reboot. And I was like,
Oh no! How did you play others after that?
We don't talk about it. 2 doesn't exist here.
My friend had Devil May Cry 1, and then I got a PS2, and I was like, "Oh man, Devil May Cry 2 is coming out in like 2 weeks. Sweet." And then I picked it up, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I bought this game. It's absolute garbage." And then I still finished it. Like at the time, you're just like, "Oh yeah, Devil May Cry 2," and then as the missions go on, your hype just slowly dwindles away.
It's not Devil May Cry. Like the step from 1 to 2 is like, what the hell is this?
It's
just unbelievable.
They took 10.
And 2 to 3 is like holy shit. Like for those who don't know the story, the director of Devil May Cry 1, he left and he ended up starting Platinum Games, which makes like Bayonetta and Revengeance and such sort of other action games. And then the new director made Devil May Cry 2, and it was fucking horrendous. And then out of sheer force of will, for not wanting to be remembered as the guy who made Devil May Cry 2, he made Devil May Cry 3 like one of the best games of all time.
like what a redemption arc. Like
yeah, and he's still the director of the series. And I agree with I think it was one of your viewers, Guru, who says that Devil May Cry 5 is a masterpiece, and I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. When you were,
I would ask, like for all you guys that are huge Devil May Cry fans, because Trev and Rory always go on and on about DMC. would you guys rather get rid of DMC or would you rather get rid of Devil May Cry 2?
I like DMC. I don't think it's as good as I don't think it's the same kind of game, but I like it a lot better than
I'm
Devil
gonna
May
say
Cry.
get rid
2.
of the Ninja Theory one because
Ooh.
you need 2 in order to understand 5 somewhat. Because 5 is the only one that happens after 2.
It's okay. So what Trev is referring to, by the way, for those who don't know,
The
in the audience,
storyline's whack.
Yeah, so
right?
continuity wise, it goes 3, 1, 4, 2, 5, I think.
and it's so those are all part of the series. What we call DMC is like a Ninja Theory spin-off game, which I like, although it's a very different kind of Devil May Cry game, and it's like total reboot, so it's not necessary for the story in any way. And Trev is not a fan, and Eric comes in here every now and again to start trouble and says it's the best Devil May Cry game.
That's why he gets shot.
It's a whole thing, and then and then he gets banned or it gets cleaned. So, oh, Morgan,
The button's right there. I hope you know.
oh, Trinsic saying that without even a sword to protect him. Yeah.
Oh.
I said it for Andrew. Oh my gosh.
I actually have a question.
Yep,
Oh, no, go ahead.
for it.
I
was going to say I'd probably just erase Devil May Cry 2.
You didn't like shooting
Just-
at a helicopter for 40 minutes and then killing him?
I mean, it's yeah. I mean, like, I'm sure it has its fans out there. Like, if you're someone who thinks, oh man, I can't wait to hold down the square button for 6 hours, then boy, have I got the experience for you.
I don't think there's any fans of Devil May Cry 2.
Oh my god.
I will
That
say I've
sounds
actually never met anyone who thinks it's good, which is odd because almost every opinion in gaming, due to the nature of gaming, and you can get out there on Twitter and find anybody who thinks anything. You know what I mean? Except that.
I don't think I've ever seen someone go, DMC2 is the greatest game ever. Like, that's just something I've never come across.
I was wondering, Fairhurst, about your setup. So, like, you've got quite a nice mic, and you've got what I think I actually know that that boom arm you have here. It's not the usual one. It's one of the like sort of slightly better ones, and you got like good headphones and stuff. Like, how much has your setup evolved since you started? Did you start out with just like very little of a setup?
No, actually, everything here I've had since day one, apart from the boom arm. I only got this like a week ago.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's the Rode boom arm, right? That's the one I think it is. Yeah. It's really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really nice. I kind of decided to treat myself because I was saving a lot of money not having to travel to a different city to go to work. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to buy that way out of my price range boom arm, and I don't regret it. It's really nice.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely more expensive than like the ones most streamers use, like the entry level ones. But it's nice.
Definitely.
And
yeah, the Audio Technica. I don't know which one this is. AT2020.
It's a 2020, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's the one I have. Because like,
it's pretty nice.
The Yeti, and I was like, fuck all that.
Yeah, it's the one Morgan has too, actually. The 2020s are popular around here. So you had already, so you owned the stuff before, or you bought it before you started streaming?
I bought it before I started streaming, but that was because I wanted to try doing voice acting, and I was like, all right, I'll buy this stuff in. And then I recorded myself, and then I just absolutely 100% hated the sound of my own voice. And I was like, nope, nah, in the bin, trash it, bin it, get to fuck. And then started streaming. I was like, man, I was really lucky I bought all this shit.
Yes, actually, I noticed that too. I thought it might actually be a 2035 when I first looked at it, but I wasn't sure. So you're a bit like me in that way. Like, I bought like the webcam and the microphone and everything. Like, I had that before the microphone I had already owned, but like, I was like, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna like start off like, and it was. I realized later that was unnecessary. Like, I watched a lot of other people start off with just the microphone, and it was fine. But also, like me, actually, I also I've intended sort of for a long time to get back into voice acting or to start into voice acting, but that's one of those sort of dreams I've never realized, and never put
same.
the effort into. It's tougher than streaming to get into in that there's no like there's no strict manual, right? There's like general industry it's like getting into video game development or something. Like there's like general ideas people use and general practices, but there's no like with streaming it's easy. Like there, no matter what your skill level is, you can at least start. But in voice acting, it's not like they just give you a shot in the show. They're just like, let's bring him in and see if he's any good. Like it doesn't like.
So you guys don't know. I don't know how many of you know this. I don't think anyone in here knows this, except for like there's only a handful of people who would know this. I do have a video. It's when I dueled Beast on PS4 in the Yu-Gi-Oh game. I took that footage and then I edited it. I did voiceover for both of our parts to do like an actual like scene from the show, and only X amount of people have seen it. Because I sent it to Tiff and she played it on her stream, but I purposely missed that part because I was like, I don't want to hear my own voice.
Oh, I can't believe I missed that. I'm so angry at everything I've ever done that led me to miss that.
I'll send it to you.
Also, Vladdy, I appreciate that, by the way. And Corrupt asked me, and I'm gonna actually, Corrupt redeemed his channel points to ask me, but I'll ask everybody. Best opening to a game you've ever played? My answer is the first BioShock.
Ooh.
Fairhurst, what are you feeling? Best opening?
Oh, that is tough. I'm kind of drawing a blank here, and all I can see just flashing across my eyes is just the intro to Devil May Cry 5. I'll probably have a better answer at some point, but honestly, the start of that game is so goddamn good.
That song they play in the beginning, I actually put on my phone. It was like part of my playlist for a really long time.
Yeah, same. I'm pretty sure it's still in my playlist.
Yeah, it's great.
Just awesome. Yeah.
I was listening to it literally like last night.
I definitely have a few. I mean, I always really loved the opening to Uncharted 4. And actually the opening for Final Fantasy VII Remake. I want to say I feel like there's a lot of people that would maybe be like, oh, but is it the nostalgia talking? But it's just straight up beautiful for one thing. But if I really want to get into it with like not just like the very opening of a game and then like that stops right when you start playing, but the entire opening of The Last of Us Part 1 really grabs you because like all that stuff that happens in the very beginning and then it just cuts to black. And then the opening credits start rolling. Like that was so cool. Yeah. Like there was so much emotion. Like I was crying. And I was like,
me too.
Mel?
Maureen, you said Final Fantasy VII Remake, and you said I don't know if it was just the nostalgia. It can't be the nostalgia because I've never played a Final Fantasy game, and that to me that was one of the best openings ever. There was something about the way the music, the way like the animations are, like just like when it pans back and you have that view of Midgard, like it's just epic, and I don't know, it can't be nostalgia only because I had no nostalgia attached to the franchise, and
that's a really good point.
I was completely drawn in and moved and like intrigued. So
for me, it'd probably be Devil May Cry 3, just because that's actually the first one I played, which is like good and bad because like I'm starting with like the actual beginning of the series, like story wise, but also starting with like the best one, like mechanic wise, and then like you go and play 1 afterward. You're like, this is nothing like 3.
Yeah, 1 feels very old in comparison. I will say, I think my favorite Devil May Cry opening might be DMC 4 actually, because
that's so good.
like for like sheer like getting you interested in what's just about to happen. You're like, okay, what's going on? Like,
See, it's different for me because like 4, I only ever owned the special edition because I never had it on PS3.
PS3. Oh, right. Yeah,
so
that
I played
makes
on
sense.
PS4 and PC, and both of those are the special edition.
Yeah, actually, like I did like all of the openings for Uncharted. every Uncharted game.
Uncharted 2.
Uncharted
You're
2,
Yeah.
even Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. It was just so beautifully animated.
Isn't 2 like widely considered like everyone's favorite out of the 4?
So for me, I go back and forth because I feel like 4 really kind of fixed some things. It was beautiful for me. The story was really riveting. I really enjoyed it. So usually the way that I put it is, if you go by the first 3, 2 is my favorite. And then if you go by just the first 4, 4 is my favorite, but 2 is still like, it's basically kind of like this. Like, they're really
They're
close.
like neck and neck.
Basically. I loved 2. 2 was so fun. I'll go back and play it just for fun. Like, that's one of those games also, though, that I'll be like, I feel like playing this game, and then I'll play it, and then like what Fairhurst said, and I will stop playing it for a while, and then I'll go back. I really feel like playing this, but I should start over.
Yep. Also, the opening to Metal Gear Solid 3 as well, with the song Snake Eater.
Yeah, that's a great.
Big fan of that.
That's a great choice. I will say, like, if you're new to Metal Gear Solid, I had a couple friends who were new to Metal Gear Solid, and they played like Metal Gear Solid 3. I showed them 3 first, and they were like, when do I get to play the game? Like, when does it start? I'm like, you got to sit down and listen to the lore here for like a little while. Like, it's like a half hour. Like,
like when you start, it's like, well, put that controller down and sit back, relax for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just take it easy. Like, get something to drink. Like, go to the washroom, maybe. Like, it's okay. Like, there was a question for the guest, for Fairhurst. Ice Dragon asks about your WoW class, allegiance, and race. And I'm actually curious. I was going to ask this one myself. So
ask why and why.
Draenei Paladin. And Human Mage. And Troll Hunter is what I've kind of mainly been playing. I am like shamelessly more Alliance than I am Horde. And yeah. And I've got friends who are like hardcore Horde, and they're like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Don't. I can't understand you. Your Horde. Your words are coming up as gibberish to me."
I want to say briefly here, Zeus. I just want to say thank you so much, Zeus, for the resub, and it's so good to see you, my friend. Can't believe nobody has. I don't even know about that game, Zeph.
We're about to start.
See, there's the reaction that I got.
Whoa. Zeus, thank you. Hold on. We're gonna have to call all of these people out individually. First of all, a huge thank you to Zeus for gifting 10 subs, and they went to Nordgraf, Rafiki, Guru, Reina, JT Mad, Blimpy, Sai, Dylan, Beast, of course, and C-Mac. Welcome everybody to all the new subs. You now have the emotes, which Trev did, and you have the sub badges, which Trev did.
2 of them are not up right now. I thought they'd be up by now, but I did.
Sorry, you will soon have the emotes that Trev did.
I did submit them yesterday, so thinking that they were going to get approved in a day. So.
Yeah, hopefully they'll come out. Hopefully they'll be out soon. Yeah. Welcome to all the new subs. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Zeus. I was gonna ask you something. Hold on. I wonder what it was.
Related?
Oh yeah, it was WoW related. Well, I mean, it was Warcraft related. I guess I have 2 different questions. I want to know where you started in Warcraft, in terms of the lineage, and then I have a follow-up question.
Yep, I started round about the time, it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the Burning Crusade came out, was when I started. Because before that, I'd mainly been playing Guild Wars.
Oh, so you started with WoW. You didn't play like Warcraft 3 and stuff like that first.
Oh no, like WoW was like the first Warcraft game I played. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Because I didn't get a PC till I was like 13 or 14. So before that, I was just like purely console. I don't think it was on console. So I know like Command and Conquer and stuff like that kind of made it to console.
Yeah, I heard
But-
about that.
Yeah.
The idea of playing a strategy game on console makes me uncomfortable. Like unless it's like one design, because there's some that are designed like there are grid-based strategies that are actually designed with a console in mind, like Mario Rabbids and stuff like that was actually designed like, okay, this is designed for a console, but when it's like designed for PC first, I can think it can be pretty tricky to port on over. And my follow-up question is actually, so I have like a really unpopular opinion about the Warcraft movie, and I'm curious what you think about the Warcraft, the movie, the Duncan Jones film.
I love it.
I also really like it. I
Yeah.
also really like it.
If someone said to me, they're like, "Hey, like that Warcraft movie was garbage," I'm like, "Yeah, fair enough. I can't argue with it, but I love it. I just liked seeing that world that I love on screen, regardless of how good the movie was. I don't know. I can't even explain what I really, really like about it. I'm just really happy to see a Warcraft movie. But
yeah,
I've got
I thought the
a kind
CGI in
of
that
spotty
was, like,
history with
great.
video game movies. So
I think it looked really good, and I think it.
yeah,
Well, so it's had Simon Dugan, who did the cinematography. He's my favorite cinematographer. So he did, for those unfamiliar, he did like he did iRobot. He did the Great Gatsby, the Baz Luhrmann Great Gatsby film, and he did the 300 Rise of an Empire. He did the cinema. All of these movies have like amazing I think cinematography is like their standout feature. And like I think he did a really great job. I think the video game movie thing is an unfortunate. I think it's a bad coincidence, to be honest, that as many bad video game movies have been made as they have. Like, I don't believe the like sort of superstition that you can't make a good video game movie because video games are different than film, because Pirates of the Caribbean is based off of a fucking theme park ride. And that's the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie is a fine movie. Like, you can make a movie about anything if you have good writers.
see, I love
Wait, what are you
video
talking
game
about?
movies,
Assassin's
and
Creed
this
was
is my
the best movie ever.
I like the Jean-Claude Van Damme Street Fighter movie. That film is great, and that is a hill I will die on. I love that film. It was the first Blu-ray I ever bought. I'm pretty sure it was the first Blu-ray I ever bought. I had to go out my way to find it. I was like, I need this film. I need it in glorious HD. And also the Mortal Kombat movie, the Paul W.S. Anderson one.
Yeah, I know the one, yeah.
I'm kind of spotty on very, very early memories, but it might have been the first film I saw in the cinema.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I've still not seen the live action Mortal Kombat.
it's really good.
Well,
Sound very
Trev, we'll have a
depressing.
movie night. We'll have a movie night. We'll watch Mortal Kombat. We'll watch all the fighting. We'll even watch the god awful live action Tekken film. I'm not sure if you've seen that, Fairhurst.
Oh, I haven't
I've
seen that.
the
No.
animated one.
You're invited in that case because
Oh hell yeah!
By the way, Rafiki, I did a fine job of making my bed. Tell Ghostface stop being so picky, will you? Hold on. Bad time to mention how much I hate Baz Luhrmann. Oh no, Zeph, it's okay, totally okay to hate Baz Luhrmann. I was saying that for me, even though I like that movie, The Great Gatsby, the movie they made, I think that the cinematography is more of a standout feature than anything else. He is not responsible. Oh, Ghost is here. Oh damn. Yeah.
I would. Hi, Ghost.
I did see
Ghostface, don't worry, I'm with you. The Mortal Kombat film is great. Now, I can't remember, like, because I'm kind of spotty on release dates, but like the first like 3 films I ever remember seeing in the cinema were Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and The Lion King, which is probably
Yeah.
which is going to like date me horribly. But yeah, I was entirely too young to see that film when I saw it. But my dad bought tickets to like Apollo 13 or Pocahontas or something, and then we just like ran into Mortal Kombat. And then
That's
I went to
okay.
the toilet and get lost on the way back. And I asked somebody, I was like, which door's Mortal Kombat? And they're like, you're not old enough to see Mortal Kombat. And I'm like, yeah, my dad's in there. I need to talk to him. And I just went in and sat down.
Oh my god.
Nah, that's okay. We have a
That's great.
There's a good history in this podcast. One of the like my childhood movies I remember watching on DVD was L.A. Confidential. So it's okay if you. So my cousin had a copy, so it was like just on the shelf. It's like, what am I going to watch today? And it's like there's Evil Dead 2 and L.A. Confidential, and it's a whole. I worked my way through a whole long list of. I mean, even had Mallrats and stuff like that. It's just like,
oh yeah.
Let me see. And yes, so Vladdy asked about the Tekken movie. Yeah, I think technically they made 2 live action Tekken films. I only saw one of them. That was enough. But I'll gladly watch it again for sort of historical reasons.
Who has like the most unenthusiastic voice ever?
Oh my god. Fairhurst, have you played Tekken 7 by chance?
No.
The narrator is god awful.
Really?
Like I streamed a bit of the story. Like Trev and Morgan were both there.
Or over exaggerating on how bad it was, but it's terrible.
Listening to this guy. Like, do at least do like your favorite line, Rory.
Oh, my favorite line? My favorite line is a reporter visited me and offered me a ray of hope. And he says it like it's a question. It's like half the stuff he says. He'll talk about like the most awful stuff. He'll be like, "And my whole family was murdered," and you're like, "Because I was fearing for my life." And it's like, "Oh my god!" Like,
I'm convinced.
My friend legitimately thought it was text to speech.
Yeah, it's text to speech.
Like,
oh hell yeah!
It's monotone. It's just like, oh, you couldn't get anyone with emotion to read this.
Yeah, exactly.
I also really hope the Uncharted movie turns out good. I've been very scared about it, considering that they have lost like 4 directors, and the storyline apparently keeps changing because they keep going back and forth between if they want to have a young Nathan Drake or an adult Nathan Drake. So I just want it to do okay. That's all
Every time
want.
I see news about that movie, it's always just directors changed. I'm like, Jesus, guys, like you need to pick one and just stick with it.
Like, oh my god.
I don't think that's a Pog moment, Trinsic. I think he used the wrong moment there.
He's like, they lost 4 directors.
Oh gosh.
Who's behind it? I really can't even remember what studio it's supposed to be. All I know is that they've lost a bunch of directors. I get. You okay there, Benji? Are you joking?
Who's currently directing?
I was really sad when Dan Trachtenberg left the project because I really liked his take on the Cloverfield movie. I just thought it'd be an interesting choice. So I was really sad when he dropped out.
But yeah, they're supposed to, like, I guess at one point they were going to have Tom Holland play young Nathan Drake, and I'm not sure if that's still going to be a thing. I'm not sure if anything has changed at this moment about it, but oh, here we go. Uncharted is an upcoming American action adventure film directed by Ruben. Is it Fleischer? Written by Art Markham and Matt Holloway, serving as a prequel to the video games. Yeah.
I cannot
see. I read a thing. Yeah, I read a thing, and I wasn't sure if it was a joke or not. But did they have Mark Wahlberg initially playing Nathan Drake, but the film took so long that they moved him to Sully?
That could be it. That could be.
I actually would not be surprised.
Yeah, because I'm like, is this a joke about the movie taking so long, or is that literally a thing that happened? They're like, oh well, no, Mark's too old. Do you want to play Sully? Aye, cool, no worries.
I think what it's gonna be is it's gonna be Nathan Drake when he's old, but they just hired Tom Holland, so he'll be ready, in 15 years. Play.
I am so sad that it just won't be Nathan Fillion because he is Nathan Drake.
Yeah, 100%.
Like he even did the whole like little this was so cool, like just that like 15-minute video that he made.
Yeah,
that was so cool. Somebody put a HUD over it, like from Uncharted 4, and it looked awesome. Yeah, the fan movie.
Yeah.
Like, that was so cool. It was really neat. And you can tell, like, he's an actual fan of it, too. Like, I actually really love that when... I feel like that's something that they really need to take into account when it comes to, like either video game... Mostly, I think, video game or, like, not always comic book, I guess. But, like, for me, it's mostly, like, when it comes to video game movies, like, adaptation, TV shows, anything. I like it so much better when they are when they get somebody to play like either a main character or somebody that is linked to the main character or the main cast. when they actually enjoy the source material before they ever like got word, that like not just for them to be like, oh well, I'm studying this so I can eventually get this part. Like Henry Cavill was a huge fan of the Witcher novels. And he had also played the Witcher games before too. And I thought that kind of, I don't know, like I feel like at the same time it helps the actor because they kind of already know the character at that point. But I think it also helps the fans because it's not just this guy who's doing this for a paycheck. It's, an actual fan.
Layer of depth to the character.
Christian Bale's actually said he's a huge, because Christian Bale's a massive Metal Gear Solid fan. And he's like, if you make a movie, I want to be Snake. Like,
you're gonna say, he was like a huge Batman fan. I was like, well, I mean,
well, no, well, I think that's important too. It's important sometimes, especially for writers as well, to be like at least versed in like I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, where the director of Star Trek Nemesis didn't watch Star Trek and therefore didn't know anything about it. And that's why that movie is whack AF, is because he didn't know anything about Star Trek and didn't care to like. They told him, they're like, all right, you've got the job, and he was like, I'm not going to watch it. He's like, I want to go in totally blind. It's like, oh, that's a good way to do your job. Totally blind. Yeah. The knowing nothing. Are you a Star Trek fan, Fairhurst?
I am. Yes.
Knowing when you say totally blind, too, because didn't you tell me that one of the characters who was he was a blind man made him into an alien because that's what he thought he was?
He made him into an alien. He thought, Fairhurst, I don't know if you know about this, but he thought Geordie LaForge was an alien.
Oh yeah, that's right.
it's like
just because he has a visor over his eyes.
He has the visor, yeah. He was like, oh, he's an alien. It's like,
didn't try to make him Cyclops from X-Men. It's like, yeah, he shoots lasers.
And he was like, and like LeVar Burton had said, like the director couldn't even say LeVar Burton. Like he couldn't say his name. Like he kept calling him the wrong name for some reason. It's a huge disaster.
Yeah, the TNG movies are they're a roller coaster, to be honest.
Because there's like there's great one. Like I love I think First Contact Insurrection is like the two sides of Star Trek TNG. Like it's like the action side and then like the sort of more like slow boil political story side. But like going into Nemesis, Nemesis just makes me sad because it has Tom Hardy too, and I like him a lot, and he's good. He's good in it. But it's just not a great movie.
It's
Guru says I hate Star Trek, and even I knew he wasn't an alien. Okay, I gotta ask about Star Trek, and I just have to know where you started. Like, what's your history with Star Trek?
My dad was really into the original series, but he wouldn't let on about it until I started watching TNG, and he's like, "Oh, I love the original series," and I'm like, "What? Excuse me?" And then I was like, "Do you want to watch TNG?" And he's like, "Nah, not really." And then I just kind of continued with TNG, and he didn't. Yeah, and I actually really recently rewatched all of TNG. It's like something I do every 4 or 5 years now.
Oh, that's awesome!
It's just really cozy watching.
It's terrific. I'm actually going to do the same thing with Morgan this year because she's seen a bunch of it, but not really all of it. So we're going to do a rewatch of TNG soon. I'm really quite looking forward to that.
Nice.
Did you fix it so now it's an Eric command?
I wasn't sure if I could edit the actual command part with editcom though, so I know how to do it the other way. So
you just treat it as part of the thing. So you do editcom and that, and then you change it to whatchamacallit.
Go ahead.
We did also have a question from Vladdy saying, speaking of video game real life adaptations, what do you guys think about The Last of Us coming to life? I know Melly had some pretty good opinions on it because we were talking about it not that long ago.
He asked a question and didn't redeem, so we're gonna ignore it and move on to the next question.
Wow.
Redeemed.
No. I'm actually curious what Fairhurst thinks about that. If you have any thoughts about the adaptation.
I've known that they've been making one, or they've wanted to make one for quite a while, but I haven't really seen any kind of development on it. But I think if there was ever like games that like kind of cried out to be movies, I think The Last of Us is a pretty okay shout. Or maybe like a TV series or something, because I think a lot of the problems with I think, well, this is just me like spitballing, but with like movies based on games is they try and cram the entire game into 2 hours when realistically you're going to spend like 8 or 9 hours playing that game. And obviously like not all of it's going to be story, but I think a lot of games are better suited to being TV series rather than films.
I actually completely agree with that. I've been saying that for years, actually, especially now that we have all these streaming services that have just gotten so popular. I'm sure if this were like, say, like the early 2000s, for example, they probably would have made The Witcher into a movie instead of a TV series. And I definitely believe that if Harry Potter had gotten more popular, like in the 2010s, they probably would have made it into like a Netflix series instead. I definitely feel like they're better suited for that. Like The Witcher, making it into a Netflix series, I think was probably perfect, the way that they could have done that. For The Last of Us, as far as we know, I can't remember who they said that might be playing Ellie, but I can't remember the guy's name, but it's the guy who plays Jaime Lannister. Apparently,
Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
Yeah, I knew the name, but I didn't know how to pronounce it.
I think it's just theories. I don't know if any.
I think it is. I don't think it's actual casting yet.
I think there's a few
Ellen Page
things.
was supposed to play Ellie.
No,
that's
I don't think Ellen Page wants anything to do with the last one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wasn't there kind of bad blood between them because she thought they took her likeness or something?
Yeah,
that's only one part of it too. Yeah,
there was a huge controversy over it at the time because, and if you look at the renders, she does look very much like Ellen Page. And she got very upset about it. One, because she didn't like that they kind of were taking her likeness to use in the game, and two, at the time, Beyond Two Souls was actually coming out, which was a video game that she was starring in. So it wasn't exactly going to be good to have two renders of a character that looks exactly like her being in two separate games. I would not be surprised if there were some people that would have bought The Last of Us thinking, oh, that's that game that Ellen Page is in.
Yeah, and also she had some bad problems with the Beyond Two Souls developers as well. Like that was not a very positive end to that relationship either.
And then its entirety, and I could not tell you what it's about.
I still need to finish it. I never finished
it. I will say I think the Last of Us series, I think it has a really good shot at being well done. Like number one, it's on HBO, which they're known for the quality of their programming.
Up until the last season.
Sans season 8 of
That's not HBO's fault,
which I would argue is not HBO's problem. It was the writers and the writers primarily.
I agree.
Not even the directors. Yep. I think it was the writing issue. And so I think we're having Neil Druckmann directly involved in writing the series. I think they hired Craig, I don't know how to say, is it Craig Mazin, who wrote and directed the Chernobyl miniseries that just released. I don't know if any of you watch that. Did you watch that?
The what? Sorry?
It
was Chernobyl. Yeah,
Chernobyl. Oh, Chernobyl. Yeah. I watched that like immediately, like when it came. I watched that. I think like I tried to like make sure I finished it around the same time you finished it. Actually, like so we could talk about it. The that was brilliant. Quite like that.
Very well done. Yeah. So Fairhurst, you've seen that.
Yeah, twice.
Chernobyl, twice. Yeah. So I think like I don't know anything about the casting. I don't think they've announced any of it. But between having HBO Druckmann and then Craig Mazin on board, I mean, that's a very good setup. And then also like again, like the benefit of HBO not being like restricted to a 2 and a 2.5 hour movie format. I think there's HBO is conducive to long form storytelling. So
I agree.
Because
there's a lot of interesting things that can come out of it.
I think that's the thing that makes it so much better. Like anytime I see like a TV show that's based off of like a book or a game or something, it usually tends to do a little bit better because you don't have that like daunting thought of, okay, we have to fit all of this in 2 hours. Which I don't want to say too much about it just in case like Melly wants to watch this, but like for the Advent Children Final Fantasy movie, everybody knows our friend Ian because he's been on this podcast a few times. But he has like the director's cut or something of it, which I think made that movie until it was like 4 or 5 hours when before the director's cut it was like 2 something hours I want to say. And he said that even though like it'll take some time, you need to like take a day to watch it, that it makes so much more sense if you actually watch the whole director's cut. I mean, because there's a lot of movies like that, like the Lord of the Rings series. Like each movie has like an hour and a half ticked onto it with the director's cut, and you have to think like with something like that, you know, like if you have like an hour and a half, like say, like example per movie, like already on that for the director's cut, there has to be something else that you're missing, you know, that might make the story make it even a little bit more sense. And that's why I think that TV shows are just the better way to go now, or at least limited series.
I pretty much almost universally agree with that. Actually, I will say for theatrical cuts, the original Lord of the Rings trilogy is the best long form theatrical cut series I've ever seen. Like the particularly Fellowship, actually. But then I think like I think like I don't know, I can't remember, but we might have talked about it, or I might have talked about it on a co-op stream or something. But like I really do feel like a lot of the filmmaking standards, like this movie's got to be a trilogy or whatever, are just strictly limiting and problematic to a writer's ability to do what a story should be, whether they want to make it shorter or want to make it longer. Like it's like sometimes you have a story that's short, like The Hobbit, that feels like it should be 2 movies and it's stretched out to 3, and sometimes you have a story that's feels like it's incredibly rushed to make it into a 2-hour film. There
was that trend of making the final part of any series 2-parter. Like
they did that with
like
Harry
Deathly
Potter,
Hallows and Twilight and
Twilight. They did it with Hunger Games. I guess if you really want to get down to it, they kind of did that with Avengers. I mean, if you really want to get down to it, because before it was Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2 before they called it Endgame. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, they did a lot of that for a little while, didn't they? That was interesting.
Yeah.
We need an elf dwarf romance.
I actually have not watched Good Omens. Is anybody
I haven't had
in here
a chance to watch Good Omens.
I've heard it's
either.
really good too.
I'm pretty ashamed that I haven't watched it, to be honest.
It's an Amazon show.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't think
I watched
Amazon
the first
had
couple
good
episodes and really
shows,
enjoyed
being
them.
honest.
Not that I've really. I mean, because I know wasn't The Boys on Amazon?
Yeah,
I never
The
watched
Boys.
The Boys is
Oh,
on Amazon. Yeah, I also didn't get a chance to watch.
Has season 2 come out for that yet?
for The Boys.
No,
I
they
don't think
kind
it
of-
has yet.
No.
There was a trailer, but it didn't have a date on it, so I don't think there's a confirmed release.
You can also on Amazon Prime you can watch the Amazon Prime
Original
series
series,
Informer, which is something only Trev remembers. I used to get ads on my own channel before I became an affiliate. So I'd like open up my channel to read chat, and I'd be watching this fucking ad, and every time it would be for the Amazon Prime series, The Informer, and to the point where I started advertising it on stream. Just started talking about it midway through the stream.
That means
You're
they
like,
that's what they want, Rory. That's what they want.
I actually watched the whole thing because of that. It was good. Like
That is something else too. Like if I can just say that that before you're an affiliate, that you have to watch ads on your own channel.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
cruel and unusual. Yeah, yeah.
They got a viewer out of Rory for the informant.
They really did.
That is
yeah.
true.
It's good. Yeah. But I love TV. Like, truthfully, like, even as someone, like, I think it's well known upon here that I love film. But, like, even as someone who loves film, I have to say, I think TV is a special medium where you can do things you just can't do in film. You can just tell stories. And if you don't believe me, just imagine that Battlestar Galactica was a movie instead, and how impossible that would have been. Like.
Yeah, I think sometimes because I love watching. I love going to the movies. You know, sometimes I mean, like unless like I shouldn't say like unless it is an actual series, but like because having sequels every once in a while, like I can completely understand that. But like sometimes I feel like I just like seeing like movies that are just the one movie in that series and that's it. And then if I want to watch something that is like that keeps going, I would rather watch that as a TV series instead. I mean, not to mention, it's really easy. Like what we used to do in Melly's Discord when Game of Thrones was still going on is every week we would watch it and then we would go into Discord and we discuss it. And I think having stuff, especially even though Netflix is cool and all that you can just binge watch stuff, I actually do like the way that other places, like how Disney Plus was doing it with some of their shows, like The Mandalorian.
Like week by week.
If they do it week by week, because you can't just like watch everything in just one go and then that's it and you're done. I mean, it's also a business standpoint because, it's a business tactic because then you have to have it not just for that 1 week. Because I knew a bunch of people that would get Netflix every June so they could watch Orange is the New Black because they're like, this is the only thing I want to watch, and then they're done with it after that month. But if you have a show that is on, for a really long time, that's week by week, that means you have to keep it for at least a few months. But I do actually like that better at times because I like to be able to just binge watch everything and have everything happen at the same time because maybe it's so good that I can't wait. But it's so nice, especially when you have other friends and family members who watch that thing, that you can just sit and discuss it with them every week, or have like a watch party and watch it every week. So I actually do like that about TV shows as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Totally agree.
Actually.
I'm super pro like week to week releases for like streaming TV shows.
Yeah,
gives you a chance to like kind of ruminate and take in what you've watched over the week.
Yeah. No, because that's a really good point. Because when like I said, like when you binge watch something, that's fine too. But like what you had just said is actually a really good point because watching, like, say for example, Mandalorian or let's take The Witcher and The Mandalorian. Like we could just watch every episode of The Witcher one by one. We could be like, oh my god, can't believe that happened. Now I can just go right on to the next one. But with The Mandalorian, something would happen. We'd be like, whoa, that just happened, and then we have to sit and think about it because we can't go on to the next episode if we're up to date on it.
Well, yeah, depending on when you start watching it. Like if you start watching it now, it's like you can binge everything at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people wait until like they can binge, like depending on what it is. I think I waited for Picard, right, until that was out.
Yep.
And me and Morgan like binged the whole thing over a few days.
Right.
Because I was like, it's going to be 10 episodes, and plus it was like I was like cluing up like a bunch of work around the time, like right before it was all going to be out. So I was like, okay, I'll just put my head down and grade all these god awful midterms, and then when they're finally done, I get to watch all of Picard. So it ended up being like kind of a reward. But I really do like what Disney Plus does. Netflix in Canada does it with a few shows at least, where they release week by week, like The 100, right? Because in Canada we don't have like a Hulu and such. So, like, we don't get, like, like, a lot of shows that are Hulu are correspondingly on Netflix, and while they're airing, sometimes they just do week by week, and I actually really enjoy that.
It's funny that Zeus said something about Arrowverse, because, like, I can understand that. At the same time, though, having multiple TV shows from the same universe, for me, it actually got really, it got too much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It gets
because
overwhelming.
it was basically like, okay, so Monday, I can't remember what days each show was on, but it'd be like, okay, so Monday I have to watch Arrow, and then Tuesday is The Flash, and then Wednesday is Supergirl, and then Thursday is Legends of Tomorrow, and then they're adding more, and like I can't do this anymore. Like it's
They have Stargirl, they have Swamp Thing coming out soon.
I have to remember all of these. Black Thunder, like oh my god, all of these CW shows.
Yeah, there's quite a lot, and I mean,
Might as well
and
call CW the superhero
movies
show.
and TV shows, like that, were involved. And I think what was the one that was bad and that like disappeared immediately?
Iron Fist.
The Inhumans. That's the one.
Okay.
It was Inhumans because it didn't do well.
Yeah, it just like
forgot
that.
that was a
Honestly,
thing.
that looked bad. Like going
Sometimes
into
I
it.
forget too. Like sometimes you just think, did this thing actually come out, or did it just get canceled before it ever happened?
Yeah, the
Did that ever come out?
It
Yep.
did.
yeah, no,
but
they
it
did.
did not do
Yeah.
well.
And then it like
It got canceled very quickly.
it immediately disappeared from public consciousness. which is probably a good thing for Marvel, right?
I
They're probably
think-
let's let everybody forget about this now.
I want to say that
Thanos snapped it out.
because
They're
my
like,
brother and my
"Nope."
mom and I, we were big into watching those shows, but eventually we just fell off of them because it got to be too much. Because it was every week, got to sit down in the living room and make sure to watch my myriad of DC shows. But I think we watched maybe the first episode, and then for some reason we just never watched it again, and that was it.
Agree. I know I just typed
Marvel
what I said.
has like one show.
I agree with
think.
you. Did you say Marvel has a new show?
No, I said they have like one show that I'm aware of. That's the
Oh, okay,
Agents of
yeah.
S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever. I haven't watched it.
I'm just really,
actually-
really gutted to get rid of Daredevil. God damn, I love Daredevil.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got rid of all of those, didn't they?
I'm not sure if it was I'm not sure if they why they got rid of it. If it was like a licensing issue, because obviously there was like a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, basically, I think they were gearing up for Disney Plus, so they're just like, get everything back. Like,
Yeah.
once seasons are done, can it? We need all this stuff back so we can use it if we need to.
That's what I thought had happened as well, because it was like the timing too. Zeph, I made it to season 10 ultimately of Supernatural.
I actually agree with it too, because I watch Supernatural every week with my mom, and I loved it. But and I think we stopped watching around, or at least I stopped watching around season 5, because for me, I really do like those like Monster of the Week shows. And I know that things happen
Aren't
to
they at,
change
season
the course of a show at
22 now
times.
or something?
What was
Is
that?
that?
Aren't they at like season 22 now or something?
They're at
They're-
season 15, I think, is their
I
last
think it's
one that they're
15.
Oh
doing.
my god.
Yeah,
It's
so
obscene.
How many
Yeah.
episodes are in a season?
I actually don't know
they're
how
I
full
think
many.
network
22
TV
Is it
to
full?
23.
They're full network TV seasons, I think 22 episodes,
Yeah.
but I could be wrong.
It's wild.
I'm
yeah.
100% wrong. 20ish. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, they started getting away from that, which is fine. That happens sometimes with shows. It goes a different direction, and people end up liking it better. But I liked the Monster of the Week thing, and
Me too.
I guess those kind of started getting old. I guess because you don't really see a whole lot of those anymore with Monster of the Week stuff.
But like what Fairhurst
Yeah.
and I were talking about earlier with Star Trek, that was totally the philosophy of Star Trek. Like there were overarching stories and stuff, but like mostly it was like new
Predominantly.
adventure every week, and I missed that. Like the last show I think that I can remember I saw that was really like that and really made an impression on me was Fringe, the J.J. Abrams show. I that was like that show was ridiculously good. That's like a top 10 show for me for sure. I wish they made more stuff like that. I enjoyed Picard, but that was one thing I was hoping Picard was going to be was more like slow,
Yeah.
more of a slow boil. But it was a very fast. Like you could tell they didn't have a lot of episodes. They weren't sure if they were going to get renewed. So like it was a very
Yeah,
fast.
definitely. The last like kind of super Monster of the Week show that I remember watching, like the one that kind of jumps out was Smallville. But that only started
Oh,
off
yeah.
as Monster of the Week, and then
Yep.
it turned into
Different-
like the overarching story thing. Like it just became a whole different show.
Smallville was
Some-
really good.
Yep.
Some
Yeah, I was a
kryptonite
big fan of
problem
Smallville.
every week.
Yep.
The one of the best Lex Luthors I've seen, I think, right? Is Michael Rosenbaum in Smallville.
Yeah.
I always really liked his interpretation. You stopped watching CW Heroverse after Arrow season 3. Yeah, fair. I mean, it got a bit unwieldy. Like,
I've
you
I've
know,
seen
but
everything.
sometimes I think like,
And I
like
can quote like all of them.
I'm like a big Buffy fan. Of course, Buffy and Angel were airing at the same time, and we're in the same universe. And it's like if you follow it really closely, you can see the similarities. But like that did not prepare me for the absolute chaos that was the DC television universe, the Arrowverse.
They bring back Smallville in Arrow. Well, in like the latest like crossover thing, they brought it back.
It's a great Buffy. That's a great Buffy reference, Shifu. They I have Shifu. I don't know if you recognize this, but there you are. I'll be if you recognize that, I'm going to be turbo impressed. My best friend keeps telling me to watch Buffy, but I have so much else to watch. So here's.
He's about to tell you to watch it, or no, watch Angel or something.
Skip, and I promise I wouldn't say this if I didn't believe it was true in my heart. Skip season 1. They reintroduce everything you need to know in season 2, and it's just not worth the build time to watch the 9 episodes or whatever that are in season 1. Also, watch Angel; it's better. But there you go.
That's one of my great shames. I'd never watched Angel. I watched Buffy, but I just never got around to watching Angel.
Oh no way!
Does it age well? Is it something that I could go back and watch?
I'd say it ages better, like because I think it's like they took the lessons they had learned from the various Buffy seasons, and it's like it feels. I don't want to say it's a more mature show, but it feels like the writers are more mature. So I recommend it, and I think season 3 of Angel is like unbeatably good. It's like I think it's the best season of the universe of the 2 shows.
I'll need to check it
out. Also, like, I don't know if this happens with like other people also, but sometimes when I watch those shows, like watching Angel, because I had started watching Angel with Rory. Well, we need to get back to it, but a few months ago. And even though I had watched it when I was a kid, because I can remember my mom and my brother and I were really into it, and we loved Buffy as well. But watching it now, like, it just gives you that feel of nostalgia sometimes too, because you'll look at it and you'll go, "This looks 90s," and I like it.
Yeah, you could definitely tell. Like, even though I think it's aged well, there's a lot of conventions that you're like, "Oh yeah, like this." People were talking about Parks. I hadn't seen it prior to Morgan showing it to me, but we watched the whole series and it was amazing.
I did know that, Eric,
Yes.
and I find it very interesting. Rashida Jones also talks about how she actually felt better on Parks, more like a lot better on Parks than she did on The Office.
That was Karen, right?
That was Karen. She said that she said it was nothing against, because it was another Michael Schur show, so it's not like it was anything against the creators, but she just always felt like she felt more like a guest character, like somebody that just wasn't going to be on the show forever. When she was on Parks, she just always felt like she had a home there, and I thought that was always really nice.
Yeah.
I still love The
Parks is
Office,
so good.
but Parks and Rec is it's got a very special place in my heart.
Yep.
It's just one of those shows that I can go back to. If I'm sad, it makes me feel happy.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the term cozy watching, and it's definitely one of those.
It's so easy to just pick up.
Yeah.
So I actually still enjoy the first season of Parks, even though it can be a bit like, I wouldn't call it cringy even, but it is a tiny bit hard to watch, because I think at the time, like what you said, Eric, it was supposed to feel more like The Office, which The Office kind of has those like weird little like secondhand embarrassment moments for the viewer. But Parks started out with that, and it wasn't as successful as The Office. And so going into season 2, and then especially season 3, when they brought in Rob Lowe and Adam Scott, it really turned out to be much different. And they actually say that having those 2 actors come in kind of saved the show, but they went in a much different direction humor wise. And I'm glad that they did, because
I do think in season 1 of both of those shows, in The Office, they were trying to figure out how influenced by the British one, or how beholden they needed to be to the British version.
Is there a
I think
British
that's true.
version of Parks?
Not of Parks,
No.
but of The Office.
No. And I
Because
think
both are
in
Michael Schur shows.
And I think in season 1 of Parks and Rec, they were trying to be an offshoot of The Office, and I think you can kind of tell in the way the characters are and the way like the plot is that they were figuring those things out. And then in season 2, it was like, okay, we figured it out, and now this is what it is.
Yeah.
Which is why I think the season 1s of both of those shows kind of get, the bad route, because you do have to kind of separate both of them from the rest.
I enjoyed watching season 1, but I will say like Parks season 2 was like instantaneously good. Like it's the fastest turnaround I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Not to mention,
quality just skyrockets.
not to mention with season 1 of Parks as well. I mean, it was only 6 episodes, which they tend to do pretty often, because if they're not sure how the show is going to go, they only put about 6 episodes worth of content into it, and then that way they're not getting canceled halfway through and like a season, like kind of what happened with Scrubs season 9, which was unfortunate. But it's kind of like a fail-safe almost, because if if they get renewed, then they can go forward with a new full season. But if they get canceled, they didn't put as much, a whole bunch of work into it that ends up getting halfway canceled.
Yeah.
A viewer base, yeah.
Rafiki asked for Fairhurst, Celtic or Rangers. Are you a football fan, Fairhurst?
No, not really, but my family is, and we're a Rangers household.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So big rival football teams.
Yeah, the Scottish football for those who don't follow.
Yeah.
Scottish football. I think for Fiki's pretty happy about that. I'll ask a question to Rafiki. I know this isn't a channel points thing, but Rafiki, do you watch Premier League, and do you have a favorite Premier League team, and if so, who? So I'm just making sure I can keep up on chat, just in case I miss anything.
Yeah, like I'm not big into football, but I'll represent when it's needed.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Man U for me, Rafiki. Arsenal for Zeus. Okay. Yeah.
That's not an option.
No, the new channel point is fix your lamp.
I do it like 100 times a stream, Trev. You can do it once.
Oh my god.
It's always done.
It's very well made, I have to admit.
It's never not made.
It's immaculate.
Everyone just wants kidding. What is kidding? Eric, explain. Is that like a
But
show?
I don't know how football works.
Jim Carrey has a show.
Oh, it's
Really?
Jim Carrey
Oh
show?
wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, me neither.
For a Canadian, I'm not a massive Jim Carrey fan.
Is he
I
Canadian?
don't have anything. Yeah,
He is Canadian.
Oh,
Yes, he's
I-
dual citizen.
I don't like have anything like against him or anything like that. It's just like I just like haven't like I digested a lot of his content and like I was never a huge fan of his stuff growing
This
up.
might be like controversial, but I think he's like very, very over the top, and I feel like it diminishes.
That's
a lot
I
of
think
what
that's
he
not
does.
as controversial as you think. It is.
A lot of people kind of think that, so it's okay to think that.
And I think he would say that too. I think that because I think that's like his thing. I think for the people who like him, that's probably what they like about him, and for the people who don't like him, that's probably what they don't like about him.
I don't know how I felt about the Sonic adaptation because I liked the movie, but sometimes I'd be like, you know what, this Dr. Robotnik is okay, and then he'd do something, I'd be like, no, I don't agree with that.
I really enjoyed him in Sonic. I thought he was.
Wait, he
that's-
was
I
in
enjoyed the
Sonic?
movie.
Really good in Sonic.
It was half and half for me, I think, most of the time. I feel
Like
like he
the
was
new one?
fine. Like at the end of the day, I was like, I guess I liked him, but I don't know. Sometimes,
like the video
sometimes
game movie?
the new one, yes, the new Sonic movie.
Oh, was he Eggman or whatever?
He was Dr. Robotnik, yeah, or Eggman, yeah, whichever one.
Yeah,
you
which
wanted.
I thought was a pretty good movie. Like it was. I don't want to say it's better than I expected.
I think it's funny. That's like, how else is someone going to play Robotnik, though? You know what I mean?
I
If
guess
you have
that's
to have-
true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think for like what that character is, you kind of needed that that Jim Carrey energy.
Should I watch
Yeah,
that
that's
movie?
for that? What was that?
I think
Okay.
he could have used some Danny DeVito energy as well. I think he's good. I think
Oh
he's
my
a strong
God.
contender
Oh my
for Eggman.
god, Danny DeVito would have been a hilarious Dr.
Danny
Robotnik.
DeVito should have
Yeah.
been Sonic.
Danny DeVito is good
He-
at anything.
Yeah, I was in the he should have played Detective Pikachu camp.
Yeah,
I
oh
think
my
that
God,
been a
it would've been
fantastic
hilarious.
movie if he'd played him.
Oh, Zephyr, my heart hurts.
No, let me tell you something. Zeph.
Oh, God.
No one is touching that. No one is touching that. All right. Everyone here is just going to collectively look at that, make a face, and move on. It's like
I appreciate unpopular opinions, though.
no, that's what I'm going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say. Is I appreciate Zeph's bravery. I appreciate Zeph's bravery. Okay.
I mean,
Right.
and it's fine to have those opinions. Everybody has an opinion on anything.
Everyone has a wrong opinion. It's fine.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, Seth. It's a take.
You know what? No, hold on. Because I want to come to Zeph's defense.
Wait,
here,
so
okay?
are you a Will Smith genie fan?
Because when I was telling everybody in chat, in a
I know
Twitch
what this
chat,
is
about putting maple syrup on your grilled cheese,
Oh.
everyone told me that I was a fucking monster, and one person told me I should be burned alive.
I
Okay?
remember that, yeah.
But
That is
Morgan
a bit
tried
much.
Morgan tried it, and is it very good?
I also tried it.
I actually really liked it. I'm gonna be honest, guys. So for me, I put ham on it as well. So for me, it actually kind of tasted like one of those ham and cheese McGriddles at McDonald's. That's literally what it was, and it was basically French toast with cheese, and it was really good.
Oh, Corrupt, don't worry, we've all been there, my friend.
I'm gonna
actually-
try that. I'm gonna try that this weekend.
Thank you. That's a
It's
Canadian
actually
hack.
really good.
All the Canadian hacks are
Canadian
put
hacks.
maple syrup on
You'll have 3 people in your camp now, Rory.
it. Except the ones that are putting molasses on it. That's the other one.
Rory, I'm actually going to be very honest. I thought you were going to talk about your stance on Prometheus. That's what I thought you were
No,
going to
I'm never bringing that up again. I value my friendship with Ash too much.
Oh,
Wasn't
then
it-
never
wasn't it
mind. There's
clipped?
nothing about Prometheus. I didn't say anything.
Go watch the first time Ash was on. It's the first time
Oh,
the guest
no.
left in the middle of the cast.
You too.
Isn't maple syrup like barbecue sauce for Canadians? Yeah, pretty much. Like,
Oh my god, ketchup chips. That's the thing that you told me about. Remember, Rory?
yeah, the ketchup chips. They don't have these in America.
Yeah.
Why would you
And
want
all
to eat
dressed
ketchup
chips
flavored
also.
chip?
Yeah, ketchup chips.
It's not ruining French fries. It's called poutine.
Wait, hold on. Ruining French fries?
Yo, hold on a minute here. Hold on a second. What?
I agree with Shifu. I'm not a fan of poutine.
Let's talk about strict improvements to things, okay? Now, if your poutine is McDonald's poutine, okay, yeah. Like if you order like McDonald's anything, you got what you paid for. Like you order McDonald's poutine, you deserve what happens next. You order McDonald's fish and chips, you deserve what happens next. Like,
McDonald's makes poutine?
This is how I feel about Taco Bell.
I can't do
Like-
Taco Bell.
For what it's also worth, another thing is, so like Fairhurst, have you ever tried to get fish and chips in non-coastal North America? Like central?
Oof.
No, I have not.
It's rocky. They don't know how
Really?
it works. Yeah, like so if you get fish and chips on the island where I'm from, like you get cod and you know you get what you ordered. But if you get fish and chips for some reason in like the rest of Canada and in like the central parts of the United States, they make fish and chips with haddock, and it makes me sad.
With
And,
haddock.
Hmm. Ooh.
I've had fish and chips with halibut, and that was really good. That was like
we,
bougie,
I,
though.
I cannot
That
wait,
could be
Trevor, to
quite
come to
good,
the
though.
island. You might think so, Fairhurst, but you're giving it too much credit.
Am I putting too much faith in its preparation?
Yeah, I think perhaps. Yeah.
Now,
They,
I didn't get to try fish and chips in Boston, but my brother got to try when we went to PAX East last year. Not this year, but last year. And my brother said that it was extremely good. But I don't know what kind of fish they were using for
it's
that.
probably cod. If it's Massachusetts, it's probably cod. Like
Also,
any
let me
coastal
tell you,
marine-
I have never, I mean, because I make pretty good homemade, oh my goodness, I'm losing it. Homemade New England clam chowder. But nothing is better than getting that in Boston.
I thought you
It
were
was
saying,
the best I've ever. What was that, Trev?
No, I forgot that's where it is. Yeah.
I have never had anything better than that. Like it was absolutely insane.
Well, wait, because they sell it at like Fisherman's Wharf, and Fisherman's Wharf is really good.
I like it, Ice. I like it. You're thinking along my lines here.
I think
Maybe.
Eric
Clam chowder
can
can be
attest to
beat.
that.
It was so good. Oh my god, I
Wait,
can't.
Eric, I know you capped, but I find this still unacceptable.
You find it
The,
offensive still.
You should add like 10 kappas to that shit.
Yeah, usually like staple dishes taste the best in the region they're known for. Absolutely, I definitely
Oh
think
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
I'm sure though, like depending on like if I went when I go to Newfoundland and I finally get to try fish and chips there, like because that's the thing, like they'll taste really awesome in like whatever region that they do best in. I'm just never going to forget. I'm never going to forget it. It was so good. Like I want to go back. Plus, I miss PAX. That was so fun.
I've never been to PAX, but it's like on the list. If there's like 1 year where I'm not going to TwitchCon, PAX is definitely where I'm going to be going instead.
It'll be the next one.
PAX,
like I'm going to next year's if it exists, you know.
So according to Zippy, I can't remember if he said that he's been to PAX South, but from what I've heard, the way that it goes is like in order from like best to not best. Is PAX East, PAX West, and then PAX South. From what I've heard, PAX East is usually, I feel like that's the bigger one that they usually do. I tend to find more of the bigger companies tend to go to PAX East most of the time. It's great. It's so cool. I suggest, because I've only gone for 1 day at a time, because I go with my brother and his friends, so it's mostly what they want to do. So even if I wanted to go for more days, I couldn't, because I'm going with them. Yeah. But I definitely think it's at least a 2-day convention, because it's so large, just the exhibitors hall, that you could at least do like one half of the exhibitors hall and pay attention to that on 1 day, and then go and do like the rest of the exhibitors hall on the next day. But it's super fun. It's really, really cool. I definitely suggest PAX East if you can, but
Cool
PAX
guy.
West also. But yeah.
To answer Cool Guy's question, I feel like we don't do lobster rolls as much as you think we would in Newfoundland. Actually,
I think that's more
surprisingly,
Maine,
we do it
Maine,
like fish and chips. Certainly is like huge here, and like obviously a lot of seafood. Cod here is huge, just generally, and Toutons and such sort of.
So I actually have had hot buttered lobster rolls twice. I had one in Boston, and that was the first time I had it. It was amazing. And then the next one that I had, it was actually at a place that Melly suggested to me in Washington, D.C. when we were looking for like different places. Just like remember you telling me about it was Luke's Lobster Shack.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the best things I've ever had. It was so good. That and Georgetown cupcakes.
Oh, I can't wait to go there.
So good.
I was so looking for it because we were supposed to go there of course, like in
summer,
a few weeks, right before everything happened, and we were really looking forward to the trip.
I dream about those cupcakes. No.
I can't wait to go next year.
I got a cupcake from there and I ate it and like I freaked out, and then when we were leaving, I got a whole box to take home that I didn't touch until I got home. God, they were so good. I'm so sad. We were supposed to go in a few weeks.
So we're going to be winding down soon. It's getting near our end. Does anybody have any last minute questions for our guest, Fairhurst? And also, if you want a link to Fairhurst's channel, you do !current guest. And there's your link. Please go check him out. He's a wonderful member of our stream team.
And follow for the accent, because that alone deserves a follow.
Maybe not just that, because the content's awesome, but yeah.
Well, that should be the selling point, is the accent, and then the great content.
No, don't listen to them. I'm just a voice and a beard. That's all I am.
Oh shit, he knows, guys.
Fairhurst, how do you manage to remember to tweet during your stream, says Shifu.
Is that sarcastic? Is it because you never tweet?
Yes, this is very sarcastic. This is Shifu. Shifu ats me a picture of Tweety Pie every time I forget to tweet the stream out, and it's now like a kind of it's trained in my head now. When if I see him in chat, I'm like, shit, did I tweet? Yes, I did. Okay, we're good. We're fine. So he's keeping me in line there. He's just like, remember.
Cool guy. You're gonna have an intensive ping if you play with Fairhurst, because Fairhurst is quite far across the pond.
Melly, someone asked about the instruments behind you in the boxes. It was Cool Guy earlier. I forgot.
Yeah. I have. Oh, there's a bass guitar, a Nord 2 electro piano, and a ukulele over there. So those are the instruments.
Nice.
Okay, I'm gonna lurk till the end. You will not have to lurk for long because we will be clearing
Might
up
as
any
well,
moment.
might as well lurk in the person's stream that we're about to raid. But yeah, I guess.
I had one more question for if I remember what it is. I know it was for Fairhurst.
Well, to answer, I've just seen Rafiki's question there. I'm going to try hot iron brew. It's going to be a weekend of trying new
Oh my
things.
goodness.
I'm going to try hot iron brew, and I'm going to try maple syrup on grilled cheese. It's
Yes. Yes.
happening. It's definitely happening.
Oh,
What I'd
right.
say
I
is
remember. I remember.
Try it without like anything else, and then if you really want to, like I like to, because I love grilled ham and cheese sandwiches. I love those. That's also a really good one to try, because it really does just taste like a breakfast sandwich.
I think as you said you're gonna try hot iron brew, like 3 people dropped out of the chat.
Oh,
There's
Ice
like,
asked a
no,
great question.
I'm not
Melly,
gonna
are you
tell
building
us
your
that.
PC on stream?
No, in case it's
I
a
asked her
disaster and I
before.
fail.
Aw.
No, I don't
Are
think
you-
so.
You
Do you have
should.
someone? By the way, do you have someone coming over to like help you with the PC build?
I think John's gonna help me,
Okay,
but
yeah.
he's never done it before either, so we're just gonna figure it out together.
If you want, like, I'm on call. Like, if you want,
Really?
like, I'll be on call during
Like,
the build.
You're my phone. Are you my phone a friend?
I'm your phone a friend. Yeah, help you win
Yes.
the million and impress
I
Regis.
was able to
the-
build mine with no help whatsoever.
Not even
without
from the
knowing
Verge.
anything. Well, no,
I'll
the
Oh
take
Verge
yeah, you
was-
can
I'll
do it.
take-
I was saying just in case something goes wrong or you
I'll
just
take-
want to know something.
Yeah, I'll take all the
I
tips
wasn't-
and advice and
So
prep.
you have the potential to do it.
Oh my!
I
my
was
cooler- my
entirely-
cooler-
terrified to do it.
Same,
I was-
honestly. I was like, I'm gonna fuck something
yeah.
up.
I'm honest. I'm freaking out right now. Just a
The
little bit.
Yeah.
once you do it
when-
a few times, you'll be like very comfortable like doing it. Like once you do a few for friends and stuff like that, and because once you do it, like there you have a way. Once you build a PC, friends start asking you to build theirs or like help them build theirs, and then you just like piles on the experience exponentially. What about you, Fairhurst? Guru wants to know: are you going to be streaming when you actually try to drink that hot soda?
Well, now I'm kind of like I'm trying to like work out how can I safely heat iron brew, because they're not in the
Well, it's got so much
don't
sugar
like-
in it,
yeah, so it's
true.
probably going to turn molten pretty quickly. So
so it's gonna be.
it's gonna be a
That can be the syrup that you put on the grilled cheese.
Well, hold on. We
I
can't
don't-
poison
I
him
don't
with that
think that's how
idea
it
too
works.
quickly. Why doesn't this taste good? As we all know.
No, if it works and it actually does become a pretty bomb syrup, I'm going to contact Iron Brew and I'm going to be like, sponsor me. I created this abomination from what you rot. Or something like that.
Iron Brew
I-
is out. COVID.
That's how COVID 20 starts. Oh my god.
I want to say first of all, thank you to Fairhurst for coming by and hanging out with us for the podcast. It was a blast.
Thanks for having me. It was a
Real
really nice
quick,
time.
I remember what I was gonna ask you.
Oh yeah, fire away.
Oh,
Fire away.
yeah.
Do you remember who the first person who stuck around and your first viewer or whatever, or follower or whatever? Do you still know that person?
Yes. She is one of my mods. It's my friend Hannah. Because we kind of knew each other from another community, and then I was like, I'm just gonna turn the stream on and play some Overwatch, and then the first message in the chat was all caps, what the fuck? I'm like, hi. And yeah, she's a mod.
Yeah, that totally never happened to me either. Totally didn't get yelled at by Melly.
That's exactly what happened.
That's how you get mod status, apparently. Because
Yeah, you just go and yell at someone. Go yell at someone like you're streaming, and then they'll mod you.
Of course, you can also get mod status the way Trev got mod status in Morgan, which was a way to bother Beast. That's an alternative. Everybody, thank you so much for coming by and asking questions, interacting with us, and helping us get to know our
Just
guest
being
better.
Here.
Yeah, just being here.
Yeah,
and
thank you so
chilling.
much, everybody. And thank you so much to Fairhurst as
You
well.
guys are cooler than everyone else on Twitch because you guys are here, not somewhere else.
And
They,
it's also
Yeah, thanks.
really late where he is.
it's really encouraging to see
Thanks
so
for
many.
having me on.
Oh yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
brilliant, and we you don't know you've signed on for this, but we have sort of like an
I was just gonna bring
informal,
this up.
but very legally binding contract, with our guests, which is if you're on once, we get to have you on again in the future.
It doesn't
Oh,
matter
you've
when.
got no
I
choice,
could,
no
I
matter
could call
whatsoever.
you up in 40
Um,
years, and I'd be like, all right, you gotta come back. This couldn't be like a dead
yeah.
channel. I'd be like, I'm bringing it back. We need you on.
We're gonna do a raid, guys.
Also, our raid call right there as well.
Streamers become raiders. Do a /me at the beginning. I only
Usually
found
you-
out that existed a month ago.
Usually you would
Uh,
have the emote to go with it, but because I updated from the old avatar to the new one, they didn't approve it in time. So you're just gonna have to /me.
Cool.
Yeah, we're rating just fans of. Go and say hi to whichever one of them is currently streaming. Who is it?
Depending on the
It's
game.
Richard. I think it's Richard.
It's Richard.
Oh, is it
Okay.
Richard?
Oh,
Oh,
Hey, go
awesome.
say hi. Go say hi to Richard, people, will you? He's a great guy. And
Wow. We're peaky guys.
I don't know what happened there. I'll be honest.
I was playing games with Richard just the other day, and we had a blast.
Yeah.
So say hi, give him a follow, and be nice, will you?
We will see you guys next week.
Take it easy, everybody.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, you've hit the raid.